Hello, I'm O Speaks. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, share. I just put in all of my links. I'm everywhere now, and I'm streaming in several different places: Twitch, uh, Rumble, here on YouTube, or I can't say here on YouTube, and hopefully soon X. Uh, I'm going to talk about what's going on with Alex Jones and Candace Owens, but before I do that, I want to discuss something that's a big, huge news story, and that's Maduro being arrested by Trump. So, you know what? Let me do this. What's going on, Will? G. Will. What's going on, Henry? I'm going to share something really quick, and I guess I can make it full screen. That's good. You can see it. All right. So, the Director of National Intelligence, what do they do? This person serves as the head of 18 agency U.S. intelligence communities. So CIA, FBI, NSA, all of these. This person has all of the information, and their job is to advise the president and translate all of this information and give it to him. The person we have in this role right now is Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard got on international TV and told the world that Barry Soetoro, Barack Obama, Barry Soetoro went against the will of the people and tried to subvert a presidency of a man because he did not like the results. Um, what is the difference between that and all of the liberal media and even some people on the right complaining that Donald Trump would not concede that he lost an election and he was trying to steal an election and election interference and all this other stuff? There's no difference. What Barry Soetoro did was actually criminal because he did it from the office of the presidency, and his oath is to protect the U.S. Constitution. And he went and colluded with several of his own agencies and tried to convince all of America that Trump was evil and he was a traitor and he was working for the Russians. That's criminal, in my opinion. So while I did laugh when Trump uh, arrested another president, and he was getting arraigned today, saying he's innocent. While it was funny to me, uh, that is not what we do. That is not American. And I believe people like John Brennan, James Clapper, James Comey, Barry Soetoro, that's Barack Obama. I believe we should be focusing on these criminals more so than criminals in uh, Venezuela. Now, is it a good thing that he's out of there for the people of Venezuela? Yes, yeah, it is. Um, because he was a dictator and it is a communist country. But is that our role? Is that what we should be doing? Is that America first? You could talk about, okay, he was trafficking drugs and doing all these things. Okay, all right. Well, we deal with that. That's what diplomacy is for. What happens if the rest of the world decides that Trump was so unbearable they needed to replace him? So they go in and arrest him as a war criminal. How would we feel about that? Would we be cheering that on? I know people on the left would absolutely be cheering it on because they're globalists and that's what they wanted. But countries are sovereign nations, meaning they have a right to exist on their own. It's interesting because Israel, that's all they talk about. And then you see people like Ben Shapiro saying, yes, we took down this evil dictator. Well, what if that happened to Bibi Netanyahu? Would he be singing the same tune? I don't like it. Again, it's funny watching a guy dare Donald Trump to do what he said he's going to do, and then the next night or 2 nights later, Donald Trump does it. But I am America first, in the truest sense. I think there's a lot of governors, there's a lot of mayors in this country that we could be focusing our energy on and spending money on to obviously party wise to primary these people and have the best possible people representing our country. I just don't agree with going into a country and arresting another president because it hasn't worked before. We've done this before. There were a lot of other bad people. Saddam Hussein was a bad person. I mean, it wasn't just in Iran or Iraq. We've done this in Syria. We've done this all over the world, actually, and everyone just ends up hating us for it. What good comes out of this? So again, I employ Venezuelan people. I have one of my employees is an older woman, probably in her mid to late 50s. So not old, but older than I am. And she showed me her home in Venezuela. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful home. Huge on the beach. It's worth nothing. And that's due to the policies of the government of Venezuela and the decisions that Hugo Chavez made. And she can't stand Maduro. So I understand fighting for people. But that's not our role. I would much prefer seeing James Clapper, John Brennan, Barry Soetoro, Jim Comey. I would much rather see our people that do stuff like this being held accountable than other countries because it's not America first. And I am, Henry. I am. I just wanted to say this before I get started because it's weird. It's not. I'm not pro Nicolas Maduro, pro communism. I just am America first. So there are a lot of tragedies that happen all over the world. That does not mean we have to spend money dropping bombs on them. Millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars dropping bombs on these people. And then we do these operations, and then now we're running another country. Well, we're not even running ours well right now. So when Trump gets up there and says, well, we'll be running it until however they resolve this happens, do they think that all the way through? Because Tulsi Gabbard had proof that Barry Soetoro, an American citizen, tried to subvert the will of the people. Zero accountability. Trump ran on draining our swamp, not draining Venezuela's swamp. Send them back all their criminals. Let them deal with MS-13 or maybe that's El Salvador. Whoever theirs was. What was there? Trinidad. That's not our. It's horrible. I get it. It brings issues here. I get it. That's why you close the border. That's why you even blow up ships. But what you don't do is go in, because when a liberal is in office and they decide they want to start changing other countries' governments, the right's going to be up in arms. And this is the same thing as when they were using all that lawfare and going after people politically. There's no different. When it flips, they're going to come after us, and I don't like that. Hillary Clinton, there's another one. We know she committed crimes. There's proof that she destroyed the people's emails, because all their communication has to be public so that we can hold them accountable, so that Congress can look at it, so that we can see it. If it's not classified, even classified, honestly, I believe we should see everything. But we know she destroyed our stuff, our information. She stored it illegally and destroyed it. No accountability. So is the swamp in Venezuela, or is the swamp here in Arkansas, in DC? So the real topic of this live, I don't want to do a live on Maduro. I just don't, because I think there's things that are happening here, and this is one of them. And this is much, 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 much bigger than Charlie Kirk. It's much, much bigger than Mitch Snow, because that's what we're going to talk about today. The title of today's live is Alex Jones: How to Destroy 30 Years of Work in 3 Weeks. His blind attacks on Candace Owens. This is not about any of those people. This is about information. This is about freedom of speech. And this is about the government, our government, not Venezuela, maybe Israel. It's about our government assassinating American citizens at the bare minimum, knowing what happened but not telling us. How many times do we have to see this? Again, you don't have to like Charlie Kirk. Oh, I left my water. You don't have to like Charlie Kirk. That doesn't mean he should be assassinated. You don't have to like me. It doesn't mean I deserve to be assassinated if I say things you don't agree with. But we had a man assassinated publicly in front of the world, and they're trying to convince us it's this guy. And the organization that he headed up is asking 0 questions, and they're actually being evasive. And that causes a young lady named Candace Owens to look into stuff and ask questions, legitimate questions. You don't have to like the questions. Who cares? Even if they don't pan out into anything, who cares? But what it does is it allows us to have information. I'll be drawing tomorrow. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I'll be drawing. That's my old Space Jam pencil box. It's in the way. We're allowed to ask questions, and anytime somebody says "shut up, don't ask questions," I get more curious than if somebody's asking the questions. I don't care about those. I really don't care about them. I don't care if she's right, but you can't tell her she can't ask questions, and that's what there's a trend right now on the right too. This is the worst part about it, because it's so-called conservatives. I'm so glad I distance myself from conservatism. I'm just on the right. I'm just constitutionalist. I'm traditional. I'm not liberal, and apparently I'm not conservative, because they're the ones who are trying to get her to shut up. Actually, they're not trying to. They are. Really, what they're trying to do is get everyone else to not listen to her. So she can talk. Yeah, she's got the freedom of speech. Ben Shapiro, yeah. She can say what she wants. But you have a responsibility to condemn what she says. And that's what they want. The whole right's doing this right now, and it's really, really weird. Because I don't subscribe to any of that. Say what you want. I don't care. If you believe that it's a microphone that blew up, okay. If you believe, like Alex Jones used to say, that there's reptilian humanoids that are running the world, okay. People will take that in and say, yeah, nah, I don't know about the reptilian people, but he has the right to say it. He owes $1.5 billion for saying things. Now, he implicated other people, that enters in a whole different realm of stuff. But the issues are right now, most of the right, most of them are trying to get you to not only not listen to Candace Owens and condemn her and censor her, but they need it publicly done. You can't just say, I don't know about the Egyptian planes. and that's me on a lot of the things, not a lot, on some of the things I'm like, okay, whatever. She's allowed to ask. And as soon as Ben Shapiro gets on the stage of a man who he tried to destroy and tells everybody else that they have a moral obligation to censor or call out or deplatform people he doesn't agree with, I got a problem with it. I had a big problem with it. So today, I have a presentation. So there's a guy named Mitch Snow, and he gave his background. This is all so stupid, but it's so important at the same time. That's why the story will not go away until this is resolved. But this guy named Mitch Snow, who was apparently a former Green Beret, he discovered something back in the 80s or early 90s. Says he went into hiding and he had to come up with a whole new identity, and not like witness protection, but he just had to go away. And I'm going to play his story, but I don't want to play the back part of the story. I only want to play the part about what he says he saw at a hotel in just southwest of Tucson, Arizona. I know that area well. Driven through there many times. And he was at a base trying to take care of one thing, and then says he saw something. You don't have to believe it, but he says he saw something that so far has not been debunked. Now, I would say one person who we can say, okay, he's good. He gave us proof that he wasn't there, or enough proof that there's no reason to keep pursuing it. But everyone else is acting really, really, really weird. I just don't understand why. It's weird to me that they're acting weird. And what's weirder is the right is yelling every time they find out and they go dox this guy and find out information about him. They think that that's enough to no longer ask about what he's actually claiming. So they've gone and dug up his past and his wives and his domestic violence and custody issues that he's had with his exes and all this other stuff. His kids don't like him. His wives don't like him. Okay, what does that have to do with what he said? All I want to do is know, was he there? Which now we know for sure he was. And did he see what he says he saw? I don't know. But for whatever reason, people like Alex Jones, and he just came out with another video, they're going after the guy's character, not after what he said. And I don't understand that. Other than to shame people and say, oh, look how ridiculous this guy is. He says he's the son of the Zodiac killer, or whoever he says he's the son. So what? I actually said this. I don't care if he says he's from Mars. Did he see what he says he saw? And the reason why that's important is there are implications to that. Now, you can say that about anything, but you should have evidence of some sort to back up what you're saying. And that's what everyone's supposedly been asking for from Candace. So she provides all this evidence that the guy was there. And there's all these, YouTubers, people on X trying to prove that he wasn't there. But they can't. So what do? They call her crazy. They call him crazy. They call him an evil person, all this other stuff. And then they yell at everybody who listens to her, call them a cult. Okay. Did he see what he said he saw? Because that's all I care about. And you're going to see Alex Jones, to Jonathan's point. What's going on, Jonathan? To his point, you're going to see Alex Jones not only go crazy, which he already was, but you're going to see him absolutely lie about Candace Owens' position. And I'm going to play it. How you doing, Don? Welcome, Jonathan. And it's weird to see because this is what the left usually does. This is what they've always done. And for some reason, we're on the, I'm not even say we, because I want no part of this. People on the right are now doing what the left did, and they are just subscribing to condemnation and shame and embarrassment. And if you follow her, you're in a cult. Like, do you really think that's going to work? Especially with younger people? They grew up with nothing but tech. They grew up swiping. They grew up with all the information right here. We used to have to seek out information and go to libraries and find an aisle and a shelf and go to specific, but like we used to have to actually find information. That's what made Alex Jones so popular. He went and found all this information. A lot of it was BS, but a lot of it was true. So we just started accepting, hey, Alex Jones was right about this. We should give him the benefit of the doubt and listen to him, even though everyone else calls him crazy, because that's what the left does. But it wasn't just the left. There was a lot of people on the right who are doing it. Ben Shapiro's one of them. He's always done that. And what it does to me is it makes me think, all right, you're hiding something, because there's no reason to write this person off as crazy. Even if they are crazy, is this thing that he said right here true? That's all I care about. Every RICO case, every time there's a mobster, every time there's a gangbangers being arrested and prosecuted, somebody bad turns on them and snitches on them. Now, all of a sudden, when it comes to this Mitch Snow guy, who could be, again, from Mars, I don't care. Is his claim true? That's all I care about. And if you can't prove that wrong, then I don't understand why you're trying to convince me to hate the guy. I don't care. I'm completely indifferent. I'm as neutral as can be on this guy. And the beginning of the story, I was surprised because it's like a soap opera watching. If if you're not following all this Candace Owens stuff, it's really, really it's interesting. It's fascinating. You're seeing people that you never thought would say things. Alex Jones all of a sudden calling Candace Owens out her name, accusing her husband of being an MI6. And I'm like, what is going on? And it's not just him. Tim Pool fully crashing out, calling her see you next Tuesday, screaming about he's going to sue her. And of course, that went away. He's not going to sue her. Blaming her for his problems and because he can't afford security anymore. Weird stuff. Ben Shapiro paid $1 million to go up on a stage of a man he did not like and tried to destroy. He paid $1 million just to go up there and condemn her and Tucker Carlson. Megyn Kelly, she caught some strays. These people are crazy, but they're on the right. So we're gonna start again, and it's gonna sound fast because I had to speed a lot of this up because you have to alter stuff on YouTube. You can't just take someone's content without making your own. Otherwise, you have to stop way more than I want to stop. So I sped it up, took out stuff that I don't think is relevant to what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is his claim true or not? That's all I care about. Let's pull this up. Video. All right. So it's going to be Candace, and I want you to pay attention to the first thing she says because she's going to talk about the day. And that's going to be so important as we move forward because Alex Jones is going to completely misrepresent what Candace Owens says. He's going to misrepresent several of her positions, and he's just going to create straw man arguments. And I think my thumbnail says she broke him. I believe she broke this man, but you'll see why it's even weirder than that. Let me do this and
say to yourself, I am going to go down to that base where I was trained. I'm going to go down to Fort Huachuca, book myself into a hotel. I'm going to go to the criminal division, the investigative division. I'm going to get that original paperwork and get some answers to why I feel that my life has been effectively ruined for me having done what I was ordered to do by the government. So you get to the base, and I want you to address this because there were so many people who were like, there's no way you could have gotten onto the base. Obviously, you sent me your military cards, and I think we can show a picture of that. You get onto the base, and I want you to walk us through what time, and I did show a timeline, but about, you don't have to be perfect here. We already showed a timeline, but like you get to the base and just kind of what's your general mood. And this is on September 8th, the evening of September 8th at the Candlewood Inn and Suites, which you have given me all the documentation for.
This is on September 8th. I'm saying that because this is really, really, really important. September 8th. All right.
So yeah, we made reservations, and I got to the hotel. It was sort of hard to find, but once I found it, I sort of recognized it because it was that was actually the barracks that I had when I was there in AIT training, but they converted it. So yeah, that was pretty cool. All of a sudden, I'm staying in the same barracks. Really nice place, by the way. Wonderful beds. But yeah, I check in, and as I'm doing that, you can tell that there's regular military people, young kids that are there, probably just checking in to post, stuff like that. There were a couple people that stood out, and they're a little bit older. And as I'm checking in, one guy that was sitting on the couch, he just had a sheen to him. Looked like he had a professional military sheen to him. If I had to guess, being a special forces guy, I would have guessed that he's ex-special forces, probably doing, something down there, probably contract. He was definitely waiting on something. And
age about, just so we can get a description, age?
I'd say 33 to 40, about there, give or take. I wasn't there to check out people or check ID cards. I just happen to know him. And veterans, especially SF guys, when you notice somebody like that, I almost had the impression, so much so that I was going to go up and ask him what group he was with and say hi and thank him for his service. I didn't really get that chance. So as I'm checking in, and then I go to my room and then come back out, He was joined and joined by a
Listen.
female that you can definitely tell when how do you put it, when people are well off and they're dressing down. She was definitely dressing down, and it was very well kept. The one thing I noticed about the woman that really stuck out to me was her eyes. And I have an ex that has caused me a lot of problems. So when I see someone with striking blue eyes like that, they stick out. And I was on the phone with my wife here, and I even told her about it. I said, "Oh, geez, somebody has those kind of eyes." It creeped me out a little bit, you know.
And again, this is the 8th. And it's very important that you remember this. That I'm going to stress it. I think I brought this little part up where she said that this is the 8th up again, because it's going to be spun, and I see hundreds of people that are saying that he said it was the 9th. It was not. This is still the 8th that we're talking about here.
And it had nothing to do with that person. Just, you know, life is what it is. But as I was checking in, I was going to go back and actually talk to that person, the guy, and yeah, between me at the front desk and then going back to my room one time and then coming back out, I was going to go to dinner. Yeah, they had gotten into there was a vehicle parked out front, big green truck. It looked like a real shiny GSA type. And yeah, they were getting into that vehicle and driving off. And that night I went to dinner at some a little bit crazy. The people in Sierra Vista, they can probably verify, there was a Mexican sushi place in Sierra Vista. So I got dinner and it was a pretty good place actually. And then I came back and went to sleep that night. Got up early the next morning, wanted to see the sunrise, reminisce about, you know, yeah, there we go. Just reminisce about having been there a long time ago.
All right, so now this is the morning, sunrise. This is the 9th. What's going on, Phoenix? So he's at this base, Fort Huachuca. I think it's Huachuca. I think that's how you say it. Sounds right. And he just said that he saw a lady with striking blue eyes. And originally, when she told the story, he didn't reveal all of this. The very end, of course, was her last episode, and I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Wild stuff. But she apparently made him add this last part in. So, sorry, we're going to keep going, but it's just important. This is now the next day. So he saw the lady with the striking eyes yesterday, last night, when he checked in with this other guy.
And even stopped to talk to some of the police. They tried to give me directions to CID, but the buildings there are they're sort of old World War II, and they're also built on top of the foundations of like almost Alamo era rocks and stuff, and some of them aren't really well marked. So his direction sort of led me off on a wild goose chase.
And I'll interject here while you're having a sip of water that this is when you accidentally take a video and it's 18 minutes long while this guy's giving you directions, which you've sent everything over. So there's no question you were here and everything happened because you tried to document this thinking you were going to get some justice from the past. And I will let you continue telling the story.
Yeah.
And he's really detailed. So when I first heard this, I'm like, all right, where are we going with this? Not sure if I believe him. Still don't know if I believe him. But he does give really compelling details that kept me interested. Like, okay, maybe there is some truth to this. So when you do that, if you're able to repeat all those details, it's a sign that you're being honest about something. I used to catch people stealing and doing all kinds of things, and the best strategy to not get caught up in a lie is to not give the details like he's giving. He's giving a lot of details. Before this even happened, he was talking about a specific watch that one of the people had on. He named a couple of names. But again, I cut that out because that's not important to what I want to cover. I wanted you guys to hear his story about who he says he saw. So far, he's seen 2 people, and he's interacted with some young soldiers this morning. But 2 people were last night on the 8th.
I was there to get help. And I was really figuring some people would have have some answers for me. I couldn't find CID, but as I'm wandering around, and I finally decided, I need to get some coffee and wake up, maybe have a little breakfast. I noticed that there's some signs there that say JTF and JTF headquarters. I went in a couple of the buildings. There was nobody there yet, so I continued on. I went and got coffee. Ran into some 10th Mountain people there. They said they were there for JTF. We sort of talked. I bought them coffee, I think, for their service. I asked where there would be a headquarters that I could go to speak to someone. They tried to explain it to me. I forget. They gave me a building name, and I don't necessarily we don't want to disclose that kind of stuff. But I went right back to the front gate, and as I came in, as they scanned me in with my ID card, I asked the gate guard there where would this building be, and how would I get there? He gave me detailed instructions on how to get there, how to wind around to get to that building. And so I did, and it was obviously a temporary setup for this new command down there. There was no gate guard. There was, I think they did have some barbed wire around the field in the building, which made me hesitate for a second. But it was a parking lot, so I just went in and parked. I was on the phone with my missus here and told her, we'll see how it goes. We'll see what they say here, and I'll call you in a few. I ended up not being able to call it back for about 7 hours. And you can, being in the military for a while, you notice when there's a lot of high-ranking people around, and you notice when there's a little bit of a buzz. And I walked in there. I didn't know if this was just a new type of army that I haven't seen for a while. But I walked up to the front desk. I sort of told him what I wanted. I initially talked to one captain for about 5 minutes, and then he stepped back out. He was going to go get someone. I stood there at the front, and as I did, the guy that I thought was an XSF guy, he had walked out from wherever it was, and he was sort of walking out to the front doors, and he stood there for a while waiting. And then 3 more people came around, civilian dressed, and one, he looked like a congressman, had the pin, had the flag, congressman suit, and there were a couple of people next to him, and obviously they were trying to talk to him, and they were sort of palling around, but it was also sort of serious. And some of the military lieutenant colonels there and the unit sergeant major escorted them out. They got into one of the GSA's. For anybody in the military that knows about GSA, they own everything in the government.
Could you, sorry, for those of us who don't know about this GSA, just to break it down for us, I'm sorry to be so ignorant. What does that stand for?
No. What was it? Government Services Administration, or
okay,
I forget what it is.
No worries.
What they basically maintain all the property for the federal government.
Okay.
So if you're in the military or if you're in the federal government and you need a vehicle, basically you go to one of the GSA places, and it's like renting a vehicle at Enterprise or something, but you have orders attached to it. Some of those vehicles they're reserved at any GSA where they have VIPs that come in. For those in the know, they keep a reserve set of vehicles, and they're extra shiny. They're like new off the lot. Their tires aren't worn very well. So they all got into one of those vehicles, and they left. The sergeant major came back in. Him and I was teasing him about his tabs and how he didn't have his long tab, and I think he had a Ranger tab and airborne. Or no, he didn't have airborne. He had air assault. Anyway, I was teasing him about some of that.
That's what I was talking about. See, that's what I was talking about. Those little details, those are all things that can be verified or debunked, and people don't usually do that when they're lying. And this is just my personal experience. I've caught a lot of people. I've had to terminate a lot of people. I've interviewed hundreds, if not thousands, of people, and there's just some things that people will do, and then there's some things that people will not do when they're being honest or when they're lying. And those kinds of details, because they can be repeated, you have to remember all that stuff. That's how you catch somebody in a lie.
Was supposed to go back and talk to him. I was finishing signing in when, a couple more captains came around the corners, and they escorted me way out. They wanted to take me out of the building. I thought I was getting arrested, and I didn't know what I had done wrong. I'd give my name, the missions I had been attached to, I give them the purpose why I was there. And I was very polite about it. I was trying to be discreet as possible. And I had no idea what I was walking into. Obviously, when congressmen are around, there's something special going on. But yeah, they escorted me out across the parking lot to the park benches there. And one of the captains there, his name was Captain Neff. Nice guy. Yeah, and I started telling him my story, what I'm telling you, and what I was there for. Yes, that's the guy. Real decent gentleman. And as we sat there, the other captain went in, was going to get the sergeant major, and I don't know exactly what happened, but before long, there was a bunch of cruisers pulling up. There were police officers from different levels of the government. I couldn't tell you all the different types of law enforcement that were there surrounding me, and sort of putting up a wall between me and the front door. I did catch that there was yet another, I don't know if it was the same GSA vehicle returning or a different one, but that did pull up to the building. I couldn't see who got in it. And it ended up sort of a big deal. They kept interrogating me, trying to gaslight me, ask me about what I was there for, like I was some sort of a spy. And then they mentioned a bomb threat. They wanted to check my vehicle. Mentioned that because I was in special forces, obviously I must be some sort of a bomb threat. And for me, I just figured this had to be some sort of the false flagging that I've encountered from before. Some sort of residual effect from that.
So you're just thinking, this has got something to do. This has been 35 years running. The government's corrupt. It's all about me finding this cartel tunnel, and this is just going to be the story of my life, never getting any justice. That's what's going through your mind.
And at this point, yeah, people in the government start pointing guns at me. My house has been swatted and stuff like that. I just roll my eyes. I literally.
Sorry.
I was just throwing my car keys. They wanted my car keys. I chucked it over. I said, yeah, if you don't mind, park it closer because my bones are getting old and it hurts. I don't want to walk that far.
So sad.
So Captain Neff was really nice. And I asked him what this was about. And he tried to shrug it off and say he didn't know. There was another lady that seemed to be conducting what this overreaction was. And she was definitely, she was in plain clothes, undercover, big sunglasses, Hispanic woman. Right, if I had to guess, probably Secret Service or something like that. She didn't want to approach me directly. She was directing how other people would approach me and ask me questions, get my documents, stuff like that. Eventually, they said, "Okay, we're going to take you to another location." They took me to. They finally showed me where the CID building was, I guess. Put me in there, and they recorded me for a while. Asked me a few questions, and they were very, very concerned about the next 24 hours. Like they wanted to make sure, I don't know, maybe that I wasn't there for some other purpose or related to something. It was pretty odd. They didn't answer any of the questions I was there for. They didn't give me the documentation they wanted. They did give me a report number to go ahead and you went ahead and I gave that to you.
You did.
We'll see what that says. But yeah, they were looking for any excuse to try and hold me up for like 24 hours. And that 24-hour number kept getting repeated by them. And then eventually they didn't have anything to hold me. I wasn't harmed to myself or others. I wasn't there to, spy on anybody. I really just wanted to get records and get out of that desert. As reminiscent as it was, the place creeps me out a little bit. So, yeah, once they said you have to stay out base for 24 hours, don't worry about it, I ain't coming back. Got to Tucson, stayed the night there in a hotel. Never got a refund on my Candlewood suites. But yeah, got on the plane, and before we touched down, I had a stop off in Salt Lake City. By the time we wheeled down, we got the news about Charlie Kirk. And of course, that's been just all over the news. Everybody's watching it, and I don't think anybody's believing what the federal government's saying about it for sure. But what I noticed, I don't know these people from TPUSA. Never been associated. I could recognize Charlie Kirk probably. But what I started seeing come across got more familiar once I saw a picture of somebody in a ponytail with those eyes. That was that person. They were there. And yeah, the head of security there, he was one of the people walking out with the congressman. Now, how would I know that? I just have a gift for recognizing people. And yeah, maybe it's not him. Maybe he has doppelganger, but somebody with the same mannerisms, the same crick in his neck, face, the waxy look on his face, hand gestures, shoulder shrug, gait, approximate height, haircut, definitely walked past me.
So again, very, very, very detailed. And he even said, I could be wrong. It could be somebody that just really looks like him. So now he's just now named the head of security for TPUSA. His name's Brian Harple, and a congressperson. You're going to hear how he came to those conclusions, and you'll hear that now.
And
If
in
you
the
had
hotel,
to put it at a percentage that you were looking at Brian Harple, maybe he's got a brother in the military, who knows, right? Maybe he does have a doppelganger, he's got a twin brother, who knows? And I want to be clear, I can confirm on this podcast live every step of your story in terms of where you went, what time you were there, that there was this big meeting that happened. I confirmed the location with other people that are on Fort Huachuca currently. I can confirm everything with metadata. I obviously can't confirm that you saw who you say you saw. If you had to put it at a percentage that you saw Brian Harple, what percentage would you put it at?
95.
95%. Okay.
95 to 99. I mean, when I saw him, you know, on the interview with his face and gestures, with that photo, it struck me in my gut.
Okay, so again, very detail oriented. She's done her research on where he says he was, but you heard her say, I can't remember this stuff for you. I can't confirm or deny what you remember as far as the people themselves. But what she did do was verify that he was there and all that there was a meeting and all these other things. And she's going live today at around 4. I think she's going to provide how she knows what she does know. Hopefully, there's going to be 2 to 3 million, if not more, people watching that episode. That's how big this story is. And all he's saying is that he saw people at a hotel near Fort Huachuca. That's over near Tucson. That's all he's saying. He hasn't made any allegations of what the people did or anything like that. He doesn't even know what the meeting was for. He also said that he saw the lady and a guy the night before. That's it. And this has turned into the biggest news story. I mean, obviously outside of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the biggest news story of the second half of last year going into this year. It's massive. But he hasn't made any allegations. He's just saying, I saw these people where I say I saw them.
I blew it off until there was, you know, some other pictures that came up with other people.
What other people? Other pictures?
If you want me to say, there's a picture of Erica Kirk with a ponytail, and from her past. That person matches who I saw at Fort Huachuca in the lobby the night before, and she was with that man in the lobby, and that man, he was present at that meeting the next morning.
If
So
you had to put it at a percentage that you saw that the girl in the ponytail matches the description of Erica Kirk, what percentage would you put that at?
those are really rare eyes. That's 95 to 99%. I can't imagine somebody else.
So he's now saying that he saw Charlie Kirk's wife at a hotel the night before Charlie Kirk was shot. They were at a military base. Now the hotel is not part of the military base; it's just near the military base. That's it. No allegations have been made. What people are doing is saying that he's making insinuations, and Candace Owens is making insinuations. What's going on, Carlos? But he's just literally telling the story of who he says he saw. He could be wrong. 95 to 99, 95, that's 5% chance he could be wrong in his mind. Nobody else knows what he saw, except for the people who were there. They know because they were there. So Candace put this up and everyone went crazy. And they're saying, well, why? I can't believe she did this. Did she even vet this guy? Does she know who he is? No. But she knows that he was where he says he was. She just doesn't know if he really saw who he thinks he saw.
Okay, so what I'm going to say, because obviously that's very explosive, and it's one of the reasons why I wasn't sure if I wanted to have you on. I'm going to be honest with you, because I guess I'll tell you the conflict that I had and just be just as honest with you as you are being with me. The first thing was, I can't confirm it, right? I can confirm where you were. I can do all of that. But I can't confirm what you think you saw. I don't know you. I don't know. There are people like my husband who we can see someone once and he recognizes that person 10 years later exactly where we saw them. And there are people like me, and I kind of have facial blindness until I meet someone 3 times. The second thing was, I didn't want people to wrongly extrapolate things and say, okay, well, maybe she was on the base. Maybe there's a chance she wasn't on the base, right? That she has a doppelganger. People do have doppelgangers. I have doppelgangers, right? But let's say she was in the base. Let's say you're right, and you saw her. This is the night before. This is on the 8th. Maybe she was in the hotel, but maybe she was there for a different reason. Maybe she was there because she's always been open about the fact that her mother moved to Arizona because she got involved with the military. So that could be totally unrelated to the meeting that took place on the 9th, Mark Amoti from Las Vegas. And you thought that this could potentially be the congressman that you saw on the 9th?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's
what
the one that walked closest
percentage?
to me.
That's the one that walked closest to you.
That's 95. I'm absolutely, after I've looked at it, that was definitely the guy.
All right. So now that's the story. She even went out of her way to say, I don't want people to extrapolate from this and come to their own conclusions. I just am telling you guys, and I don't know if he's right, this is who he says he saw. That's it. So now, Alex Jones. So first we had Ben Shapiro, obviously, Dave Rubin, Mark Levin. Who else is attacking her, calling her everything that they can think of? Ben Shapiro went on the stage and did it. All these people just flipped out of nowhere. Liz Wheeler, people who were cool with her, Abby Stuckey, and they're all kind of just, it's like they decided at once to turn and call her evil after Charlie Kirk died. It's almost as if they were waiting for this moment. And they've been saying, Charlie, they weren't friends anymore. And all of a sudden, I played the video a million times of Charlie Kirk saying that he loves her and that she's a dear friend. And that was 1 month before he got shot. So they're creating narratives, they're spinning narratives, and I don't understand the smear. It's almost as if there's a fear, which is only going to fuel more questions. When people behave the way they're behaving, you're going to fuel more questions, not less. You can't shame people into stopping asking questions or to stop listening to people who are. You just can't.
I have a responsibility to expose things when I know it's bad, no matter who it is. And so I will. Because the things Candace Owens was saying about Egyptian planes and the latest thing about Fort Huachuca and 12 colonels, their meeting the day before Kirk was killed, and all of that, I'm like, well, I like Candace. She's done a lot of credible stuff, so let me go investigate it. And when I investigated, it was not accurate. And then when I said, hey, this isn't really accurate, this has big problems, then, I'm, in general, and her surrogates, I'm working for Israel, I'm a bad person. And then I saw a couple of her surrogates, well-known folks, people we've had on the show, been nice to, but just gotten really nasty. Look at this Epstein stuff. Then we're going to all that later. Literally have a consensus that Jones doesn't know how to read a room. Jones is tone deaf. Look, his listeners a lot of them don't like what he's saying. Do you think that I get on air and do what I think is going to make people like me? That says a lot about you. I'm a trend setter, not a trend follower. And then the other thing is Jones doesn't want Kirk's assassination investigated. What are you talking about? I broke the definitive information 5, 6, 7 days after, on this broadcast, 5, 6, 7 days after they killed Kirk, that there was a meeting with Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard, and that he didn't want her involved and didn't want the intelligence she had about domestic accomplices and foreign help. And a month later, it came out, and she said, no, that's true, and it was all over the news. I mean, whoa, Kash Patel doesn't want the information. Then I went and found out and talked to a bunch of people that have talked to him, including in the FBI, in TV USA, and in the White House. And he says, oh, don't worry about it. Yeah, we talked to the 10 people that said Kirk will be dead tomorrow when he comes to town, and then celebrate the next day. See, we told you something. Yeah, they kind of knew he was going to do it, but we don't need to charge him. We probably can't prove it. Well, they need to be investigated more. You can't just do that. He says Crooks acted alone. He says the guy in, down in Mar-a-Lago trying to kill Trump acted alone. Totally didn't. So we got a problem there. I don't know what the cover-up is, but it's going on. So I've been day one saying I've had issues. And then I have to go out when something becomes a big investigation and people have all this information, and I'm hearing, wow, this is incredible. Fort Huachuca, a guy just wanders in, there's 12 colonels, and so I start calling people, and I say, well, just send me where you were. Well, just so happens we were in Dallas, or we were in the air here, and then you can even find places where they were there, because when this gets released, people are going to say, oh, that's not real, because they can't ever admit they're wrong. And so then that's when you get sued, because then it's going to be all right there for you. And they tried to fix that in the Monday meeting, all the rest of it, and then Candace just comes back and doubles down on this military base and this guy that wandered onto it. And then at first he was on Candace via text, letter. He used one name, totally different name now, which appears to be his name. And then he now remembers seeing Erica Kirk there. And he said he saw the head of TPUSA security there. Well, you got a problem because he was in a totally different state at the time. And he's got the airline stubs, him boarding it, all the records. And
so what Alex Jones does is he talks fast and he throws a lot of information out. So he just now said that he was in a totally different state. That's what the guy says he is. But then he says he's got the stubs. Let me go back. Just so you can hear the verbiage that he throws in.
At first he was on Candace via text, letter. He used one name, totally different name now, which appears to be his name. And then he now remembers seeing Erica Kirk there. And he said he saw the head of TPUSA security there. Well, you got a problem because he was in a totally different state at the time. And he's got the airline stubs, him boarding it, all the records.
Got the airline purchase. He does not have anything about him boarding. There's no boarding pass. So he throws that out there for credibility to what he's saying. But it's not true.
And I have them. I had them already. And then the head of security himself reached out, not knowing what one hand was doing the other, and said, hey, here's this. And I'm like, yeah, I think you already got that. But, I mean, I try to be nice about all this with Candace. Like, hey, there's a lot more stuff here. I mean, you literally have a guy on who looks like he's completely insane. I mean, it looks like that, like and the things he says and the whole record and the craziness, and he's been gang stalked and, all this stuff. You can hear Twilight Zone music playing, and then you immediately go check, and they've got total alibi on an airplane in another state. Commercial.
And you see how he frames things? The guy looks totally insane. And he makes faces that he didn't look totally insane. Not to me. It's very detail-oriented, telling a story. Could he be lying? Absolutely. But he's characterizing this as an attack on the guy, not what he said. Now, he is saying that he has these other things. What's going on, Free J? Long time no see. He is phrasing it in a way to make it sound like you guys can't believe this guy. He's not saying that what he's saying is wrong, other than to say, I had all this information. And he's always done this. This is typical Alex Jones. He claims to have all the information all the time. Government officials gave it to him. But he's saying something interesting here because he is in communication with TPUSA. The problem with that is Candace Owens has been asking questions of TPUSA this entire time for 3 months now. This is the 4th month now since Charlie Kirk got killed. And they're quiet. They won't say anything. But for some reason, Alex Jones, of all people, Alex Jones has direct access to TPUSA. Why? Why wouldn't they give this information to Candace Owens?
And the other people too. It's just like, it's preposterous with her surrogates and minions, with her hair all done and everything, saying,
hair all done.
Alex Jones is threatening Candace Owens when he says, I'm worried about you. And I'm worried about your mental health. That's really a threat. Oh, I know. Am I involved with the French assassination team now? And then another one of these people said, when Jones says I'm forced to do this, he means he's being forced to. No, it means I don't like doing this. But if you're saying all this stuff, you've got a huge show, and it's effective, and then I go out and look into it, and it doesn't add up, I am not going to sit here and just go along with that. I don't say things that are wrong on purpose. So I don't want to spend time on this gossip world stuff. I don't want to do this. And people attacking me a bunch over it, and just all the different flavors.
So he says, I don't say things that are wrong on purpose. He's the one who got sued and now owes $1.5 billion or 1 point something billion dollars because he kept claiming that a school shooting was a government job and that the victims, I don't even know what he said about the victims. I don't know how he came up with the fact that there are dead kids, that was some part of the op and that they were in on it. Or I don't even understand his point because this is what he does. He muddies it. So you can't really tell what are you saying? So the parents sued civilly and won because he's essentially calling their dead kids patsies for the government, I guess. I don't know. Some of them he said they didn't even die. They didn't exist. But he just now said, I don't say things that I don't believe is true. So you believe those stories, even though you knew that the parents were suing you? You still think their kids didn't exist?
There was a bull. That's not who I am. And I was always accused of being like this. I'm like, look at this legislation. This is really bad, or this is really good. Or, hey, let's not go to war with this country. Or, hey, did you know that hydrofluorosilicic acid in all the studies is an adjuvant. It makes all the other toxic chemicals pass the blood-brain barrier. And here's the head of this prestigious university's toxicology department, Dr. Connick. And so 95% of what we do is document. Just punditry. I don't like joining in on the corporate media bandwagon attacking Candace Owens. That's not what I'm doing.
He's also the person who says that reptilian humanoids are ruling the earth. So he's talking about facts. Proof. Never seen a picture of any of these reptilian humanoids that are running the world. Maybe that's in the 5%, because he said 95% of that's what we do.
Okay, no, great, Candace. Sure, okay, great, investigate that, sure. And this stuff got so big and so wild, and I've been asked about it so much, I'm like, well, let me go look at this. Because if there was really 12 colonels in Fort Huachuca, and
I don't even know where he got the 12 colonels from. Did you hear him say anything about 12 colonels? Did you hear the guy say that there were 12 colonels? I didn't hear him say 12 colonels. Narratives. And I had to cut out so much of what he says because he just repeats the exact same verbiage, the exact same way, the exact same insults. He does the exact same thing nonstop. So I had to edit out him repeating himself over and over and over. And there's a reason he does that. I mean, there's marketing studies that show you if you repeat things 3 times, it sticks. But he does more than 3 times. He just keeps repeating over and over and over.
Erica Trump at this thing the day before, I would say that's very suspicious and bizarre, but that's not how assassinations work anyways. None of it adds up. But I mean, if they started seeing proof of that, I'd be like, whoa, oh my God, this is crazier than I thought. I mean, I'd be like, okay, wow, thank you. I've asked Candace on to my producers 3 or 4 times the last few months. She's like, oh, I've got my kids. I'm too busy. Sorry. And she's on all these other shows, which is fine. I'm not mad she's not coming on. But my listeners are like,
that's important. She shrugged him off. And I think this is where it started. He wanted her on the show. She said, I'm busy with the kids. But and he's not the only one who's tried to get her on their show. Several people have. And coincidentally, all of them have turned on her because she didn't show up on their shows. And they kind of, you heard them, she's done other shows. That's okay. I'm not mad. Well, then why'd you bring it up? How is that even a point of conversation? What's going on, Uncle L? It's weird that he would even bring that up. Clearly, he's upset about it. There's another person. I'll wait. There's another person who said something similar. I asked her to come on a show.
And people are like, well, hey, you should give her a chance to come on and talk. Well, don't you know that's already been done? So that's where I'm at here, folks. And I don't want to spend. I'll go ahead and get the flight log stuff and the airline stuff and the ticket stubs and all that. I'll give the crew, get that ready. So I'll do that in the 4th hour, but I'm only spending like 30 minutes on it. And I 100%, her surrogates are going to say it's fake. All right. It doesn't matter. This is done. Okay. Erica Kirk was there. They planned the assassination at Fort Huachuca. Nothing will change that. In fact, Erica fired the gun that took him out. I'm being sarcastic at this point. But I mean, the surrogates, the little kind of pilot fish that swim along with the larger fishy, they're literally saying that I want to get her killed. It's all code words for that. I mean, you people are sick. But you said a lot about yourselves because it was a consensus. They're like, oh, he's dumb. He doesn't know that the world's turned against Israel and that he's siding with them. It has nothing to do with that. The plane story has more holes in it than Swiss cheese. And then the Fort Huachuca story makes absolutely no sense. And I have no doubt that Mr. Snow might have been wandering around there. What does that mean? Oh, look, my phone data shows I was wandering around there. Great. And did you see the Loch Ness Monster while you were there? You don't have assassination meetings at military bases with 12 colonels and dozens of other military people. And then.
See how he did it again? 12 colonels and dozens of other military people. I don't know where he got that from. It kind of makes me think that he knows that there was a meeting with 12 colonels and dozens of other people, because I didn't hear him say anything about that. You just heard the whole story from Mitch himself. Nowhere did he say anything about 12 colonels and dozens of other people. He keeps throwing that out there.
Security people for TPSA and Erica Trump wandering around. I mean, it sounds like you guys have been watching too much Justice League or something. It's just not how these things work. And I'm sorry if you haven't interviewed people that actually killed Kennedy like I did exclusively. I mean, if you haven't studied how these things work, I just can't explain it to you. So it's okay.
So now he's doing an argument from authority saying, hey, listen, I interviewed the people who actually killed JFK. And I'm sorry, you guys don't understand. I don't have time to explain this to you. Just trust me. I know. This is what he's doing right now. It's so arrogant. And coming from him is what makes it so weird. Because, dude, you're the one everyone's called crazy for decades. And now you're over here acting like you're speaking from a position of authority.
All right. But in a larger context,
see that right there? And this has been happening to her nonstop since September. Inside Candace Owens' sadistic and dangerous world monetizing baseless conspiracies. She's asking questions. So they have a problem with asking questions. I don't know why, because once something gets proven to not be true, you just move on. They see that as proving her wrong when all she's doing is presenting information that she gets. So it's essentially crowdsourcing an investigation. She gets on her platform, says, hey, this mouse, somebody said that they brought this mouse over from, I'm not going to put that up. Somebody said they brought this mouse over from India or whatever. And then they track it down. There's people who they don't do anything else. They just track it down. Nope, that mouse is from China. Okay, we can move on. That's not a point of interest. And they move forward. What he's doing, and what a lot of people are on, especially on the right, I don't understand why we're doing this. But what they're saying is, well, we proved Candace Owens wrong. Therefore, her investigation is tainted. She needs to admit that she was wrong about the mouse. And it's like, that wasn't important unless it becomes important. And I've said this a gazillion times on X. If you don't follow me on X, follow me on X. Same name. When a husband dies, the wife is the primary suspect. They have no proof. They have no evidence. They talk to her to see if they need to pursue and look for proof and evidence. That's what they do. That's literally what they do. I don't think she has anything to do with it. And then they just pursue other leads. Alex Jones. I'm not going to put that up. I'm going to laugh at it, but I'm not going to put that up. Especially with the name. So they're taking it as she's making claims and people are proving them wrong when all she's doing is saying, hey, this is what I heard. I can't confirm this, but I can confirm this, this, and this. And then she gives the information to the people and they run with it. They go whatever route they want to take with it to figure out, is it true, is it not true, and move forward. This investigation is a crowdsourced thing where we're just moving forward, trying to find out the truth. There's nobody making any hard claims. Well, she's blamed this person, she's blamed this person. No, she said that there were these flights. I never bought that story. I didn't care about the story. To me, it didn't seem relevant in any way. But some people did, so they pursued it. And I still don't know what to think of that story about the Egyptian planes. I don't care. Thanks. I don't care. But people are looking for answers that are interested in that. That's for them to look. I don't have to say, we all need to condemn Candace Owens for putting out this ridiculous theory of an exploding microphone. Well, she didn't put it out. She hasn't even brought that up. She happened to find some pictures that looked like there was glass in a car, and that led to people looking into stuff. And for some reason, the right, almost exclusively the right, are attacking her over it, saying that she's putting people at risk. And I'm like, how? That doesn't make sense to me. Well, she's implying things. No, you're implying things. She just said what she said. They look into it, they insinuate what they think she's insinuating, and then they attack it. It's the weirdest straw man. I'm like, she didn't say that. Or she said Eric Kirk had something to do with it. No, she didn't. She overtly said, I don't know if he remembers what he's saying he remembers. I can't go off of that, but I can say that he was here and that it happened at this time and he was at the base and at the hotel. I can confirm all that. I just don't know if she was there. And they turn it into, she says Eric Kirk has something to do with a meeting and they met to plan the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And it's like, whoa, you're the conspiracy theorist because you just made all that up. Now, there may be people online who are saying that, but she's never said anything like that. What do? Tie it all to her. For bringing forward information. It's like they don't want information. They even say, oh, you're going to taint the investigation. No, how? if it's as ironclad as you guys say it is, how can she ruin it? Well, they create reasonable doubt. Okay, that's what being innocent until proven guilty is. It's on the prosecution to prove that he did it. You can't blame me for covering it and saying, "Hey, I wonder if this." Oh, look! O Speaks just now created doubt for the jury. It's like, okay, so then we shouldn't know anything about anything because the prosecution literally came out and gave us all the information that we do know. That's the problem because they don't know what they're talking about. So is that jury pool tainting? No. They do the same thing that she's doing. Literally the same thing. They have theories. She doesn't even come up with a theory. She just says, "Hey, there's this. This guy says that. And he wants to go there." And then people just go and look. It's weird that there's such a backlash to this.
To watch the people attacking me and lying about what I've said and exaggerating and twisting things to make me look like a villain, all because it makes you feel bigger and more powerful about yourself, is pathetic. I'll be vindicated again on this Fort Huachuca thing, just like we have been on the plains. We're here with a major Tuesday evening breaking news alert. Candace Owens, who I've known for 10 years, been very supportive of, started putting out incredible claims in the last few weeks about Egyptian planes and about secret Huachuca military base meetings with the head of security for TPUSA and congressmen and others, all these colonels. And the word was it was where they were planning what happened the next day in Utah. So I went and investigated.
She never said that. She pointed out a coincidence, and he just made it up. What's going on, Wabbit, too? He brought in the colonel's thing again and said that they're planning the assassination. Nobody said that.
Candace Owens, who I've known for 10 years, been very supportive of, started putting out incredible claims in the last few weeks about Egyptian planes and about secret Huachuca military base meetings with the head of security for TPUSA and congressmen and others, all these colonels. And the word was it was where they were planning what happened the next day in Utah. So I went and investigated.
Who said that? Who said that? He just throws it out there like that's what the claims were. She hasn't thrown out any claims. He just said it. I'll just say that.
Investigated it and found out on C-SPAN. There was the congressman in D.C. while he supposedly secret meeting, and there was the head of TPUSA security in Dallas and on flights. And I came out and said, "Hey, this isn't right." And she immediately said, "Alex is revealing himself." That's right, I'm revealing myself for simply going and doing the research. So when we presented the evidence today that the people she said were at Fort Huachuca weren't there, well, I'd already predicted a few days ago. She came out and said, well, Mitch Snow, as another name, he was there. We never doubted he was at the base. I go to Fort Hood today and claim I was in a secret meeting with Candace and 8 Martians and Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. And so there was an incident report where he showed up and acted all weird at the base, at least somebody named Michael Snow. We have the incident report. You notice when Candace posted it, it had his driver's license and plates. Well, we're not going to show you that because we know we'd be doxing him, but she doxed him. We saw that little trap. And so here's.
So they were claiming that this report is fake. This is one of the best bad gotcha moments that came out of this whole thing. Whoever was typing up the report, whatever MP was typing up the report, one point called him Michael, one point called him Mitchell, got some numbers inverted or whatever, right? And this is what he's talking about. And a lot of people picked apart this thing. Oh, there's a cursor on the screen, so she probably typed it up right there. She's lying.
Candace, you started this, and you're the one engaged in all this behavior, and you don't want anybody questioning you, and your Praetorian Guard, your priesthood doesn't. Well, I'm watching now, and now I'm looking at everything else you've been saying and doing for a while. It's all a crock of crap. You take a sitting congressperson from Nevada, and you have this kook on. You say, oh, it's all proven. I have the metadata because you had his detainment report that you've now put out. And I said, oh, she's going to post the detainment report later and say he was at Huachuca. No one's doubting he was at Huachuca. The point is the people you claimed that were there, Charlie Kirk's head of security, and the congressman weren't. Now they can argue, well, maybe the head of security left early in the morning and got there for his flight in Dallas at 1:40 something, but not with the congressman. Your people posted video of him in Congress at like 2:40 and said, oh, look, he could have got there. We have him at 11 a.m. on video giving speeches.
He was not giving a speech at 11 a.m. It's a lie. They have they circled an image of him way off in the corner and said that's him. That's his seat. That's where he was sitting later on. There's no definitive proof that guy was there. He missed the roll calls twice, and he's saying he was giving speeches. He just added the giving speeches part on his own. Why? He gave speeches later on at 2 something. So why would he keep framing it this way?
That's 8 a.m. Huachuca. So we had 30 minutes to get to D.C.
Absolutely. That little circle over there, they're saying that that's him. The best footage that I was able to find, can't tell who that is. Can't tell who it is. He had a shirt and tie, so that's got to be him.
Incredible. So Mark Amelie, out of Nevada, just says this is pure crap. This is totally delusional. He flew from Nevada on the 8th, and he went to D.C., and he did his job. He's there voting. It's all on record. And imagine just waking up to this. You're a pawn. And then
actually, the official record is that he did not say that he was there until after 2 o'clock. That's the official record. If you go to the government website, you can see who said that they were present, who wasn't. He was not officially until 2 something. Now, I think he got there before 2 something, but not far before. And there's no proof that he wasn't. But he's saying it as if it's a fact.
Go look it up, and he's telling the truth. And we're the bad guys. 11 a.m. There he is. And later speaking.
There he is. There he is. The little ant, the little speck in the corner. That's it. There he is. That's it. Settled. We wrote that that's him, and we circled that that's him, so it's him.
So now here's the new development. Candace Owens says she has released the proof of everything she said being true. She says she's winning the psychological war. Michael Snow, Mitch Snow, whatever his name is, was at Huachuca, according to this email she has here. And I have no doubt he wasn't there walking around drooling or whatever he does. And that's not proof of all the things you said. The people you said were there were not there. So instead of addressing that, you say, I'm some type of operative. I'm a bad guy.
She's never, to this point, she only responded to him one time. So he inserts himself in this whole drama that had nothing to do with him. And now he's acting like she's attacking him. Now you're saying I'm the bad guy. Nobody said that. He's arguing with the chat. And he's arguing with the comment section. And he's arguing with people on X. And he's attributing it all to her. That's why you keep hearing him say her surrogates, her minions. He's crazy. Legitimately. He thinks that she's sending people. You see the little queen thing that the QAnon thing that he just did? Like, you really think she's just sitting there like the puppet master doing all this? Do you think she has time to do this? To harass you on X? Those are his fans, people who follow him, telling him, hey, stay out of this one. You don't even know what you're talking about. Because a lot of what he's saying is just wrong. It's almost as if his people are giving him bad information. It almost has to be on purpose. They're giving him bad information so he can come up and look like a fool. Because that's what he's doing. A lot of the stuff he's saying that he attributes to her, it has nothing to do with her. Now you guys are saying I'm the bad guy. Huh? She responded one time. And then after this, she responded again saying, why are you doing this? Or something to that effect. She has not said anything to him or about him at all. She's been off air since Christmas. Before, I guess, the week of Christmas. So she's been off the air for almost 3 weeks. And he's acting like she's responding to him, but she's not. He sees her post on X and apparently thinks that she's directing it to him. It's weird.
So Fort Huachuca confirmed double sirens. And then she has who they call in here Michael Snow being detained and questioned as he said he did, wandering around the secured base. And again,
wandering around. But he said what happened was he went there, stayed in the hotel overnight, then went to try and get records. He's wandering around drooling. He's making it sound like this guy's just some buffoon who somehow got to a military base with his ID and his credentials that, like, not anyone can just wander around drooling, dude. But it has to appear as if he's crazy so that he can say that Candace is crazy. And he's going to say it eventually. Michael
Snow. When he first sent her a letter before, it was another name. Then it went to Mitch Snow that appears to be his name. I can tell you a big investigation is coming out by the military. They have his DD 14, 13, whatever it is, his military record. That's not my story, so I won't break it. But let's just say it starts with S and ends with V. That's how you say the start of each word. S and V, stolen valor. And she'll have a new story to cover up for this one. It's okay. So I'm shocked by how, in my view, sociopathic she is. I am totally blown away by this. So she has them, if this document's even real, it probably is, wandering around drooling at some military base.
Again, wandering around drooling.
When he sends her a letter a few weeks ago, he's there and he sees all these colonels and stuff. And then later he realizes that a TPUSA security's there. And then once he goes on a show, he has a gift for her. And And she goes, actually, Erica Kirk was there too, 99% sure. The ex-boyfriend of Erica Kirk, Kevin Phillips, and he goes, oh yeah, he was there too. So Candace just sends photos. Was this person there? And Candace says, well, she was open that Mitch might have been wrong about this or that. No, you said it was ironclad, other than whether.
Did you hear her say anything about ironclad? He just made that up. She never said she believes that he saw who he saw. She just wants everyone else to hear his story. Oh, God, Candace said ironclad. She never said that. Listen to this.
Actually, Erica Kirk was there too, 99% sure. The ex-boyfriend of Erica Kirk, Kevin Phillips, and he goes, oh yeah, he was there too. So Candace just sends photos. Was this person there? And Candace says, well, she was open that Mitch might have been wrong about this or that. No, you said it was ironclad, other than whether Erica Kirk was there. And I agree.
No, she didn't. She didn't say that she knew Harpole was there or that the congressman was there. She did not say that. He's lying, and I don't actually. You'll see me constantly say, "Why are you lying?" I don't know if he's lying or if he's been given bad information, and his people are saying, "Nope, she said this." It's either that or he's just outright lying on purpose.
You are the Inquisitor. You are the master. We have to go to you to get any answers. You are God. We go to you, the Oracle, and of course your husband, the Lord, British Lord, and with all his titles. They don't have those officially anymore. I mean, I'm just speculating, just asking questions. I'm not saying this. Well, there's some leftist stuff involved with him and his dad. Is this like a Keir Starmer deal to undermine Trump and TPUSA? We know they're attacking free speech, everything in America, attacking Elon Musk. I mean, is Candace Owens Benedict Arnold? Is she working for the globalists? Because it's Starmer heading up the Northern Group, trying to get the war going with Ukraine. It's Starmer trying to censor America, censor Elon Musk. I mean, there's a lot more dots there than you've got. I'm not even saying that's the case. I'm just saying, Candace, we are now the Inquisitor. Are you a British MI6 intelligence asset controlled by your husband to destabilize America, claim TPUSA was involved in all this as a way to bring down Trump? What you've done is...
So he just made all these connections. What's going on, True Essence? He just made all these connections. Your husband works for MI6. You're trying to take down Donald Trump, trying to take down TPUSA. It's like, dude, where is all this coming from? Just in this very episode, I like Candace Owens. I've known her for 10 years. When he first jumped into, I love Candace Owens. I was the first person to ever interview her. Like, he's just making up stuff. But then he turns around and calls her a sociopath. And now he's accusing her of her and her husband of being MI6 and trying to take down Donald Trump. So which one is it? And why are you doing this?
With your low IQ fans, most of them, I'm serious, they are.
Oh, low IQ fans. Her low IQ fans are also his fans, which is why his fans are turning on him. Every post, every single post he's done has gotten ratioed. Which is essentially, you should know what ratio it is, but you make a post, you get a certain amount of likes and a certain amount of comments. If the comments are very high compared to the likes, it means most likely it's a negative response to your post. You get 10 comments, you should have 1 or 2, maybe 3 comments. But if you have 10 likes and 30 comments, not good. That's a ratio. I'd rather take 20 pills. It's insane.
Who've just recently woken up but don't have any depth, is that whatever you say is the way it is, and anybody questioning what you're saying is covering up what happened with Charlie Kirk. No, we're not doing that. We broke the real intel, confirmed that CashApp's covering up. I've been all over it.
There it is.
Bottom line, I was always accused of being a conspiracy theorist. 95% of what I do is just analyzing news, bills, legislation, information. What the modern conspiracy theorist is on the left or the right is somebody that just makes up soap opera stories, and then people just choose what story they want to believe. I'm about facts. I'm about information. And so, Candace.
And it's a fact, according to Alex Jones, that there are reptilian humanoids that run this planet. He's about facts.
I didn't ask for a war with you. I went and investigated your incredible claims. I thought they might be true.
War.
But I didn't find the truth. I said, I have questions, and now I'm the enemy. No, that's not the case. I don't work for Israel. I didn't work for the Daily Wire. I'm banned on YouTube. Unlike you being boosted. I'm hunted by the establishment.
So again, he talks really fast. So I had to speed this up. But even if I slow this down, he's throwing these things out there really fast. I'm banned on YouTube. You're being boosted. I thought you just said you like her. She's being boosted by YouTube? And he's like, I'm not the enemy. I'm not bought by Israel. This is what the comments are saying. Dude is arguing with the chat in front of the world and either doesn't realize it or he's just insane enough to know it and he's still going to do it and blame Candace Owens for what the chat is saying and what the comment sections are saying. This is wild.
The CIA and the DOJ. I'm an American patriot. I'm fighting for American freedom, our basic values. And I hope you can shake yourself out of this if you're not an evil agent of some group and get yourself together and come back to God. I don't know. I can't judge you. I don't know your soul. But as for me.
So, and she needs to come back to God. He doesn't know her. He's trying to save her and her soul. He just throws this stuff out there. It's insane what he's saying. Yeah, I think it's burnt his brain. Ozempic, he said. I think Ozempic has done something to his brain. He was already out there, right? But this is different because he's now saying things that are verifiably false. And he's throwing out accusations on somebody that he says he likes.
I know where we stand.
They're going to make him go through the same center that everybody goes through.
All right. So this is hilarious. This guy is with the, I was going to say the redhead with the beard. The guy with the black shirt is Mitch Snow, or whatever his name is, son. This guy, Paramount Tactical, is the one with the plaid or whatever that is. I don't even know what do you call those shirts? I don't even remember what you call those shirts. But the guy with the green shirt is a YouTuber who is constantly trying to, out of nowhere, prove Candace is wrong about stuff. So it's like, okay, why? But whatever. He was actually really good with the 30-06 coverage. I think I may even had played one of his videos on the 30-06 and how there's no way Charlie Kirk's neck stopped that bullet. But anyway, all of a sudden he's just flipped on Candace Owens and he's anti-Candace. And he's calling her a liar and calling her a con artist and all these other things. So he has Mitch Snow's son on to trash Mitch Snow. Now remember, Alex Jones was just talking about the report. I don't know if it's real. It probably is, but he's wandering around drooling. Everyone has been calling that, not everyone. Most people have been calling that report fake, saying Candace Owens typed it up because they saw a cursor on the screen when she shared the email. Whatever. This is his son. I need you guys to listen to this. This is hilarious.
Get his ID, get it renewed if he doesn't have it to that point. They're going to let him go to the commissary. They're going to let him go to the PX, maybe some of the other amenities on the post. But he doesn't have a security clearance.
Or if he does walk into the Joint Task Force staff duty, he might end up detained and outside getting the canines called on him as per this report, which, again, I don't even know if this report is real or not. There's so much crazy.
So he's laughing. Yeah, I don't know if this report's real or not. There's so much crazy stuff. And he brought this son on because they're estranged. He hasn't seen his father in over 20 years, right? So he knows they don't like each other, or he doesn't like his father. So he's there to hurt the credibility of whoever this Mitch Snow guy is. And the guy could be a liar. He really could be. But prove the lie. Don't trash him. Because it's only going to make people more... it's only going to make people want to know more about whether or not he's telling the truth. So watch what this guy does. He holds up the report, mocking it. Listen to what his son said.
On the post. But he doesn't have a security clearance.
Or if he does walk into the Joint Task Force staff duty, he might end up detained and outside getting the canines called on him as per this report, which, again, I don't even know if this report is real or not. There's so much craziness going on with this report.
I mean,
it's so funny.
Plate number.
They called me on September 9th,
Whoops.
asking me if I knew anything about a Mitch Snow and telling me that I was listed as his number one emergency contact. And I just remember sitting there for like a minute, like, I don't know Mitch Snow. I don't know why I'd be on somebody's emergency contact list. Like,
But you weren't even aware of his name change, or you just forgot about it? Like you just weren't
I
aware
wasn't
of
aware.
So while he's trying to debunk the report, the guy, his son, says, yeah, they called me. Who, the MPs? Yeah, the MPs called me and asked me about some Mitch Snow guy. He didn't even know his name changed. That's why he just asked them that. So he literally just proved that the report is real and what Mitch Snow said is true. Because the military police literally called his son. So he's like, they're laughing at the report. Yeah, I mean, they did call me. Who? The MPs. What? Just verified the story. While this guy's trying to trash him, his son just proved that the military police called him to ask about his father, who's clearly being detained.
His ID, get it renewed if he doesn't have it to that point. They're going to let him go to the commissary. They're going to let him go to the PX, maybe some of the other amenities on the post. But he doesn't have a security clearance.
Or if he does walk into the Joint Task Force staff duty, he might end up detained and outside getting the canines called on him, as per this report, which, again, I don't even know if this report is real or not. There's so much craziness going on with this report.
I
It's
mean,
not a plate number.
They called me on September 9th,
They called.
asking me if I knew anything about a Mitch Snow and telling me that I was listed as his number one emergency contact. And I just remember sitting there for like a minute, like, I don't know Mitch Snow. I don't know why I'd be on somebody's emergency contact list. Like,
But you weren't even aware of his name change, or you just forgot
No.
about it? Or, like you just weren't
I
aware of
wasn't
it
aware.
at all?
I don't, like I said, like I really like, it's just one of those, I just don't think about the guy really.
So you were called by, I guess, military police on September
Yeah.
9th. And about what time was that?
Let's see. Bear with me just a second here. I might be a little bit fast. September 9th, it was around 12:30 that they called.
12:30. And what time zone are you on?
I'm in Pacific Standard Time.
Okay, so that would have been Pacific Standard Time too. But Arizona in September is basically on Pacific Standard Time because they do not recognize daylight savings. So 12:30. Did they give you any other information when they had him detained? They call you? Did they tell you?
They wanted to know if I knew anyone else that was on his emergency contact list.
Okay.
They wanted to know if any of the information on them was correct or anything like that. I told them basically, like, I have no idea.
So they literally called him, and yes, sorry, MP is military police. Yes, they literally called him and said, "Hey, we have a guy here named Mitch Snow. He put you as his emergency contact." He's like, "I don't know Mitch Snow. It's his father." So while they're trying to trash him and debunk something, and this is not the only time this has happened, they end up proving the story, at least partially, is true. He said he got detained. They mocked him. He said the military police were questioning him, and he even gave the time frame. He just now verified the time was correct on September 9th, exactly what he said. He just proved him right. So every time they try to, not every time, when they try to debunk this guy, more questions arise because what they're finding out is that he's not lying. So what do? Try to destroy him. Now here's Alex Jones again. And this is just every day, this guy. Every day. He's like as if Candace is yelling at him or something. Listen to this.
Not been going after Candace Owens to be part of a publicity stunt or infighting like all these other people do. I've been here 31 years. It's not what I do. I saw the incredible stuff that she and her people were saying. I've always liked her, so I said, I better check this. And I went checking into it, and it just went from bad to worse. And then I nicely came out and said, hey, I've got concerns on this and that.
Nicely.
And her surrogates and a bunch of people, now her, basically said that, I'm a terrible person, and this just shows who I am. Well,
she's never said it. A bunch of her surrogates and now her have said I'm a terrible person. What? It's never happened. Yeah, he's got I think he's from Austin, Texas. But yeah, his accent it's really how fast he talks. And I had to speed it up also because you have to alter the video, so that doesn't help. But yeah, so he's saying that her surrogates and now her are saying that I'm a bad guy. Like, nobody said that. Those are your fans and every time he posts, it's his people saying that. Read the room, Alex. Stay out of this. You don't know what you're talking about. They're his people.
I've been proven right on the two things I have concerns about. So people know the straw man that I'm not trying to investigate what happened. I just have not seen the evidence that TPUSA killed him, and all the supposed theories about this person shot him and that person shot him and this security guard shot him in the arm and this guy had a gun over here. Notice all that stuff's been moved on from. Okay, so I just think honing in on TPUSA.
None of that. Candace Owens never claimed any of that stuff. So he's taking things that he's heard or has been told, and he's applying them to her. She's never talked about security shooting him from under the arm. And she's never even brought that stuff up. But he's attributing it to her. And saying that she's saying things to him. She's only, to this point, I think, tweeted him twice. And one of them was, why are you doing this? And the other one wasn't even really addressing him. It was just like a very, very general comment.
USA is wrong. The point is, I've known Candace Owens 10 years. Like her. She's in the promos for my show. She says nice things about
There you go. See, he likes her. You heard him in the last piece call her a sociopath and working for MI6 and trying to bring down Trump in the United States of America. Now he's saying, I like her. I love Candace. She's great. Known her 10 years.
They killed him, and all the supposed theories about this person shot him and that person shot him and this security guard shot him in the arm and this guy had a gun over here. Notice all that stuff's been moved on from. Okay, so I just think honing in on TPUSA is wrong. The point is, I've known Candace Owens 10 years. Like her. She's in the promos for my show. She says nice things about me. And so I go and get the flight data stuff on these Egyptian planes, and most of it's incorrect. Point it out, and I'm the bad guy. And then we start looking into this Mitch Snow guy, and immediately there's all these red flags everywhere. And it's Fort Huachuca, 12 colonels, and he starts adding new names, and later, Erica Kirk's there. And then we started to get the data on who he really was, his real name is coming out tomorrow. I'll let the investigators themselves bring it out, and it is so horrible. And I said he makes my skin crawl just at a visceral gut level. Oh, it's really crawling now. So I came out last week and I said, Candace, you got to get away from this. You're being set up. Maybe he's setting you up. Because I've never seen stuff like this. And nope, I'm the bad guy, all the rest of this crap. So I got pissed off. All right?
She never said you're the bad guy. And she never said no. She just ignores him. And he's not the only one she's ignoring. She's ignored several people. And she tweeted like yesterday or today that she just ignored these people. But he's acting as if she's responding to him. He's having a conversation with somebody who's not having a conversation back. She's just not.
I mean, we need TPUSA. We need Candace Owens. We need all these people. And so I'm not against us questioning each other, but this just going on the warpath against each other is crazy. And then, I got the call, all the rest of this crap. It's just pure bull. So then it's Christmas Eve. I'm with my parents, and I get this text message from Laura Loomer going, Merry Christmas, and a thing to X with her saying, I'm the one someone knows that convinced him to go after Candace Owens. She knew full well that would just inject herself in this controversy, stir it all up, and everybody will say she's my handler, that's what everybody's obsessed with, and pretty mean, pretty uncool.
So this is her tweet. She says, I'm proud to say that I am responsible for Alex Jones seeing the light as it pertains to how malicious and insane Candace Owens has become. A couple of weeks ago, Alex Jones and I had a very long private conversation about some bad actors in the woke right, and Alex told me that he was starting to come around to what I've been saying for the last 2 years. Laura Loomer is insane, certifiably insane. She's a Zionist who, she's just insane, like legitimately insane. So she jumps in and says eventually more people will wake up to the PSYOP. She jumps in and says that, hey, I talked to Alex. I'm the one who convinced him that Candace is bad. So what does that do? It turns all of his own people looking at him like, you talked to Laura Loomer about this? So destroyed all of his credibility, all of it. Not that he had much, but with his own people are like, dude, are you serious right now? You really did get the call. All that means is got the call from Zionists or Israel or whatever to pay you to turn against Candace Owens, because that's what everyone's saying right now. That these people have to be getting paid because it does not make sense how they're behaving over everything she says and anything she does. And I can't wait till she goes live. She's going live at 4. I cannot wait. She's been gone for 3 weeks now, and that video is going to get 3 to 4 million views. I guarantee. This woman, I've seen her have. You're a Zionist? Cool. I've seen her have. I think it was the most people I've seen in her chat. In her chat, she had like 170,000 people. I'm like, that's so unfathomable. She may have had even more than that at some point. I remember sending it to my. You know what? I sent it to my sister. I'm like, this chick. Where is it? I sent the picture. Where is it? Because I could not believe my eyes. I thought there's no way this is real. There's no way there's that many people in her chat. There it is. Oh my gosh. She had 321,000 people in her chat. You don't have to be a YouTuber to understand how insane that is and how that is so ridiculous. 300, I thought it was only 170. 321,000 people in the chat in real time live. I'm surprised that it didn't just crash her live. That is so insane. That is so much information going through the chat. You can't even read it, because I'd be in the chats. I'm like, you can't even read this. 321,000 people. That is insanity. Insanity. So what's interesting about this is he knows Laura Loomer said that about him, but he's not mad at her. He's not attacking her. He's not going after her. He's still focusing on Candace Owens. Why?
And that's just her nature. It's the way she is. I've known her for 10 years. I still see her as a friend, but I'll never link. She makes a rolling story about the latest attempt to have a coup in the Pentagon against Hegseth, which is real. I had my own sources. I had her on. She started sending me all these text messages, but the Tucker's this and that. And so I called her up, and I basically said, I don't think Tucker's bad. I don't think he works for Qatar. And she gave me this whole spiel about it. I didn't even remember her talking about Candace Owens. So I even asked her in text messages today. I said, well, when did I even talk about Candace Owens? She said, you remember this and this? I'm like, whatever. So no, I didn't remember the conversation. Had nothing to do, 5 weeks ago, whatever it was, with me coming out and saying, man, Candace, there's an issue here. I was concerned about the planes. But it's cut and dry. It is cut and dry with Mitch Snow. I mean, the congressman was there at 11 a.m. in the committee hearings. He didn't go into roll call until 2-something, but he's on the videos. It's all on record. That the head of TBS USA, he's on airplane at 1:45. And they're like, well, he could have secretly got back from Machuca. No, folks, they're ready to release everything. Okay, but notice how they get accused. Just asking questions. Everybody's basically saying they're planning a murder there. And then the whole thing falls apart.
Nobody said they were planning a murder. And he talks so fast. This information is going into our ears without us even realizing. Unless you really listen, he's just throwing these little slick. That's not even a jab. He's just throwing this information, and it's nonstop. It's what he does, and then he repeats it over and over and over and over and over. They're planning his assassination. Nobody said that.
We're the bad guys for pointing it out. You don't have 12 colonels and people the day before at a base, and the guy's wife's there, and the head of security's there. But that is just insane. Okay.
Again, with the 12 colonels, I don't know where he got that from. You guys heard? I played it. I didn't play his backstory about Mexico, but I played everything in regards to the base. I played. He did not say 12 colonels. He's feeding this into the narrative.
So on his face, just look at the cook. And now we've learned about his rap sheet and his background, his real name, and they're going to have his kids on, adult children, about this guy. And his supposed military record, it's not even what he says. I mean, it is stolen valor. It is everything. It is crazy. You can make a movie about this guy. They have those Facebook movies about con artists and stuff. I mean, this is next level. And was he sent in to set up Candace? I don't know. I'm just telling you that I saw a bunch of you out there bend over backwards to cover this up, or say, oh, once the video came out of the congressman at 11 a.m. there, that's 8 a.m. Arizona time, when the meeting's supposedly happening at 7:30, so he teleported himself back. You guys are like, oh, that's fake video on C-SPAN. That's fake video on the congressional website. And people went and looked and go, no, it's not. It's there. It's him, just because he was.
Yeah, so not only that, but he said that some of those kids didn't exist. So yeah, no, 100 billion, 100 with a B, billion. So this is the guy who only deals with facts.
In the roll call, he was there doing something, waiting for the votes he wanted to be part of. And that's Congressman Ahmadai, who just got put into this. Has nothing to do with it. I mean, these are innocent people. So do I have questions about TPUSA? Do I like some of the way things have been handled? No. Should TPUSA be investigated? Absolutely. But I'm sitting here as a third party looking at this, and everybody's asking me, look at the planes, look into this guy. So I go, look. And I'm like, holy hell, this is crazy. This is going to blow up in her face. I go, hey, you better look out. Go, oh, that's a threat. No, he's saying, look out, I'm worried about you. That's concern. You guys just twist everything. And then I saw something really, really amazing last night. I saw, without even looking, people I've known, interviewed several of them, going, Alex, you understand, it doesn't matter if Candace's information is right. We don't care. We hate TPUSA, and we're going to bring them down, and you just don't get it.
Not one person has said that. So let's clear this up, because I think he's either getting bad information or he hears as fast as he talks, so he doesn't hear all the information. People say it doesn't matter if what she's saying isn't true. We can just move forward. He receives that as in, no matter what she says, we're going to accept it as true. And it's very interesting because he's saying what he heard. He just interprets it wrong. And I say it's wrong because I'm one of those people who says it doesn't matter. So if they prove Mitch was not there, or no, we already know he was there. If they prove none of the people that he said were there, what we're going to do is move on to the next thing and say, okay, well, we need to find the truth and keep going forward. It's not that it doesn't matter in the sense that she's lying. It doesn't matter in the sense that we're trying to get to the truth. So some leads die. That's what happens in an investigation. So back to the conversation we were having earlier, where the wife may have done it or didn't do it. The detectives will ask her, hey, where were you yesterday? Is there anybody that you know your husband had any issues with? And based on her answers and how she behaves, they may move on. And if her story checks out, they're going to move on. That doesn't mean that she was looking into her was bad or a lie. It just means what we thought was going to happen didn't happen. We're going to move on. Hey, let's look at his son. Let's look at his work, his employees or his partners, insurance people. Like, There's other ways to go. We don't have to focus on her, and it doesn't live or die with her. He hears that as no matter what happens, we're going to get TPUSA. Nobody said that. He just made that up. He completely made that up.
Hey, you better look out. Oh, that's a threat. No, he's saying, look out, I'm worried about you. That's concern. You guys just twist everything. And then I saw something really, really amazing last night. I saw, without even looking, people I've known, interviewed several of them, going, Alex, you understand, it doesn't matter if Candace's information is right. We don't care. We hate TPUSA, and basically we're going to bring them down, and you just don't get it. And then I saw a couple more of them, and then people going, yeah, we don't care if it's true. And I was like, oh, you're not stupid. You're like Machiavelli now. Like, you think you're fighting evil, and so you think you can just make up whatever you want. I don't have a...
See? So he hears correctly, but he's interpreting it in a way that's just not true. We don't care. He went straight to Machiavellian. Oh, you're not just stupid. So I thought you were all stupid. Now I think you're evil, and you're plotting. But it's interesting how he heard that. When I say I don't care if he's right or wrong, if he's right, we can pursue it. If he's wrong, we move on to the next thing and keep going. He hears it as we don't care about the truth. No, we're pursuing the truth.
Gossip show. I don't have a soap opera show. I'm trying to talk about big general policies, wake up the public to actual globalist operations we can stop. I'm trying to awaken humanity, stop the ESG, stop the carbon taxes, stop the social credit score, stop the central bank digital currencies. I mean, that's all the real stuff. I'm trying to stabilize civilization. I'm trying to push for a global awakening and accelerate, and I'm trying to help people. I'm not trying to have Lucy Stone Candace Owens.
He's trying to stabilize civilization. That's his job. He's got to stabilize all of civilization.
I morally cannot discover that this guy's a con man and a liar and this meeting didn't happen. And then pretend like Candace Owens is just like, oh, just asking questions when we've got the clips over all of them, like very specifically. Like, oh, I never said that TPUSA was involved in killing. And it's all right there. I mean, it's just crazy. You know what you guys are saying, you know what you're doing. And
so that's another thing. And if you haven't heard, what she said, and she said this a couple times, is she believes that people are complicit in a cover-up. That is not the same thing as being involved in the killing. That's like saying, okay, the wife didn't kill the husband, but she also does not want the police to discover that she's got, several policies out on him and offshore accounts. So she's not going to give them all the information because she doesn't want them to dig into her. Doesn't mean she had anything to do with him. She may have something. She may have an illegal gambling ring going on in her basement that she's going to try to steer them away from. Doesn't mean she's guilty of being part of the murder. It means she's hiding something. TPUSA's finances are really under the microscope right now. Really, really, really. Because they're finding things, even on how Charlie was paying himself. They're finding things. And I think, again, either his people or him are just not here. They're hearing information and they're processing it in a really dumb way, to be honest with you. Because he's not making full sense. She's never said that they were in on it. She said they were complicit in a cover-up. Again, that can mean they just don't want to be looked at because they have other stuff going on.
I just can't be part of this. Mitch Snow's article was destroyed. But when this stuff comes out tomorrow, it's going to be so devastating. And I'll be live, by the way, 11 a.m. 3 p.m. I got some of the folks exposing going on. His military record, his police records, the court records, his kids, adult children on the show, his real name, the fake charities he's run, how he's got 150,000 or something I checked on his donation page that Candace set up for him. I mean, my God. People are going to stand for this, man. People are going to stand for this.
Nobody cares about that. We just want to know, did he see what he claims he saw? I don't care about his taxes and his kids, and I don't care how many people he's beaten up. I don't care if he's gotten beat up. I just want to know if that story is real. That's it. And he's good if he's not going to watch this, but he would hear me saying, I don't care about the truth. I just want to make sure TPUSA gets destroyed.
And to watch Candace Owens self-immolate herself politically, just burn herself up like this really sucks. I had her on a few months ago, back on her with the Macron stuff and everything else. And then I'm just like, I can't be part of this. My blisters want me to investigate, so I go look at something, get my investigating crew to look at it, give it to airline experts. They go, no, this is all horseshit. And then I start calling around and everybody else has the same findings. And she goes, well, there was a few mistakes, but we're going to republish on the website to show you we were really right. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath, Candace. She's like, this Wachuca thing is dead on. This is happening. We know it. Little proviso. I'm not sure that you really saw Eric Kirk there. And then later, I just vetting this guy. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on here. We're not stupid. And it smoke screens the real stuff that needs to happen, like the investigation into what really happened. Off the chart.
So even before he goes that, why doesn't he do that investigation? Why is he making it about her? What we really need to be looking at is this. Okay, so look at it. Why does she have to be the one to look at what you want her to look at? Leave her alone.
Ridiculous gaslighting, every single bit of it, nonsense, totally disprovable.
Gaslighting.
A shell game, a distraction, a moving the goalposts. I'm going to walk through it all here in a moment. I want to be 100% clear. I've known Candace Owens 10 years. I've always liked her. I've been a supporter of hers. And when she started putting out all these incredible allegations about Egyptian planes and this...
You see how he's just repeating the same thing over and over and over. I think, oh my God, I got to look into this. This is incredible. Listen.
The latest so-called witness and whistleblower, Mitch Snow, I went and investigated because if it was true, this is incredible.
This guy, Mitch, it was very compelling, said that he saw Brian Harpole leaving this meeting at Fort Huachuca on September 9th. I wanted to give him the platform after I verified where he was to tell his story, but he also had to include the part where he claims that he saw Erica Kirk the night before, also on Fort Huachuca at Candlewood in...
So she knew that part and said, if I bring you on, I need you to add that part because that's important to the story. So listen to what she says. Because he keeps saying that, and all of a sudden they just added all these other people and they added Erica Kirk. No, she knew about it. But if he's going to come forward on her show, she wanted him to tell the whole story. And she says it right here. $20 a month to listen to this nonsense. Can you imagine that? Wow.
I went and investigated because if it was true, this is incredible.
This guy, Mitch, it was very compelling, said that he saw Brian Harpole leaving this meeting at Fort Huachuca on September 9th. I wanted to give him the platform after I verified where he was to tell his story, but he also had to include the part where he claims that he saw Erica Kirk the night before, also on Fort Huachuca at Candlewood in
night before.
Okay.
So a week and a half ago, I go, Candace, I care about you. We've already looked at this. This guy's bad news. None of this adds up. Did you check for people's alibis? Please think about this. And she and her surrogates and minions came after me. And I said, oh, okay, well, I'll just continue to investigate.
She and her surrogates and minions came after me. She's still up to this point had only tweeted twice about this man. It's all in his head. It's all in his head.
Genuinely, I thought it was at like 50-50 until tonight, where all of a sudden there were all these attacks regarding Fort Huachuca. We didn't really know where they were coming from. You got people calling me insane. Alex Jones jumps into the fray. I'm like, what is happening right now? Why does Fort Huachuca have so many people triggered?
Now even more has come out about Mitch Snow, and she did a video last night praising him, how accurate he is. But she also says, oh, but I never, said the military was involved. I never said TPUSA was involved. Though we have all these compilations of her clearly saying that, and we're supposed to.
So she was praising him, saying how accurate he is. It never happened. He's just making up stuff.
Get the past things she puts out, and then she moves on to the new stories that are even more insane. That she doesn't want to talk about these individuals that all have alibis. Remember, she's like God. She's the Inquisitor. She's almighty. When she accuses somebody or has a guest on that does it, just asking questions, they have to respond to her. They have to show themselves. They have to prove themselves to her. And even when they do it, it's not enough. But now that the proof is overwhelming, move on from that. She says, no. The Undersecretary of the Army, he went to Fort Huachuca on the 8th, which was scheduled back since July. And so now it's about who was on that plane. So now we're back to planes again, not the skiff, not the meeting on the 9th and who was in that. But now, let's go ahead and lay out the latest insane developments. So I got on the phone, I linked the conversation with him right before we're shooting this report right now. And he said, look at what she says. And you can walk through the text. He gets contacted by Paramount Tactical that's been basically debunking all this. And they say, hey, we'd like an alibi on September 9th from you. If you can get that, proving that Erica Kirk was somewhere else other than Fort Huachuca. And so he reaches out to Erica. What mother isn't taking pictures of her kids, playing at the park and backyard and stuff? She sends it with timestamps from 8:33. So there she is, the same hour the secret meeting is supposedly going on in Fort Huachuca in Phoenix.
September 9th. 8:33 a.m. September 9th. And who he's talking about is a guy named Andrew Clovet, who is the PR guy for TPUSA. For some reason, he's communicating with Paramount Tactical and not Candace Owens, who he personally knows. Matter of fact, he's given her a lot of the information that she's come forward with. But on this, for some reason, he gives it to another guy. Why? Because this is not proof of anything. September 9th. When did Mitch say he saw her? The 8th. And I'll put it back in here.
At her home and at the park. And she sends in this photo, and then he reaches out 3 hours later. He goes, oh, sorry, just now seeing this. This is all crazy, whatever, but sure, here it is. And he didn't say don't talk about this. He just said, please don't show the screenshot, the photo, because it's her kids. And
That's not what happened. So He told this Paramount Tactical guy, this guy named Gary or Greg, Gary, whatever his name is. Here, this is the proof. Don't share it. This fool on his live stream shared everything. He's reading it as he's displaying all the text messages and pictures. So again, he's proving Candace Owens' story is more likely true than not, because why would she give an alibi for the 9th? No one said she was there on the 9th. I think that's weird. She was seen the day before the 9th when he was checking in, remember?
He just pulled this up live on air because Andrew responded 3 hours late and goes, oh gosh, and then Candace spins it like, ooh, we just caught you in this massive cover-up.
She sends it to Andrew Colvett to send to these obscure YouTubers who are live, and it didn't click with them that Andrew Colvett did not want them to say that he was their source. So this guy just starts live reading the messages that are coming in from Andrew Colvett, where he proceeds to give an alibi that no one asked for.
So she doesn't deny that it's her in Phoenix, screenshot, you go to the metadata, which they have, that she's in Phoenix. None of that matters. And then she says, well, she was thinking, maybe Mr. Snow's information was wrong, but not now, because why would they be defending themselves if they were innocent? And she says,
That's not what she said at all. Look at his face. It's not what she said.
Didn't want alibis from you. What are you talking about? And she already went Monday before last all the way to Nashville, Tennessee, where Candace lives, to meet for 4.5 hours and already show her a bunch of this stuff. And then Candace comes out and says, oh, looks like everything's about to be okay. And then days later has Snow on to double down and say, oh, no, Erica was there too on the base. So this is just absolutely crazy. And when you watch her, was it Instagram last night? Where I'm banned, of course, and YouTube where I'm banned, but she's anti-establishment, and I'm the establishment. She sits there and basically says, oh, look, they're scared, they're desperate, they got a PR disaster because Andrew Colvett is sneaking around behind the scenes contacting influencers who do this. No, it's right there.
No, she said, why is he communicating with obscure YouTubers when he has my number and we've been talking for 3 months? She didn't say he's contacting them. So he's going to turn this into a mini lie. He's going to say, she said that he's contacting her, or he's contacting them, but no, they're contacting him. See how she's lying? He's just flipping it just to make it sound like he's caught her in something.
Establishment. She sits there and basically says, oh, look, they're scared, they're desperate, they got a PR disaster because Andrew Colvett is sneaking around behind the scenes contacting influencers who do this. No, it's right there. She already has these screenshots. She has the screenshots from the live stream. They're not HD. I have the HD ones we're putting on screen right now. And he's reached out to, he talks to him. They talk about AmFest last weekend. And he says, oh, yeah, this is all just crazy. And then it turns into he reached out, Andrew Colvett, to Paramount Tactical as damage control for Erica Kirk. When it's Paramount Tactical reaching out, and he's reached out to, gets back 3 hours later, says, yeah, here it is. Says, but just don't show the photo. Not don't talk about it, but you can say you've seen the proof. And if Candace has a problem with that, Candace, you called up Andrew Colvett, and you called the rest of his crew, and I confirmed this with him, right after Charlie was killed, and you said, I want to see the HD camera from behind him to see if the bullet indeed doesn't come out the back. And that's all true, they said. And you saw the footage, they showed it to you, that the bullet didn't come out the back, and it was agreed, this is gory, we shouldn't put this out. So it's the same thing here. Don't show the kids, but here's the timestamp, here's the information.
That's She didn't say there was nothing there and it was gory and that they shouldn't put it out. She wanted to see that footage because she did not believe that the bullet went through his neck. That's it. I don't even know why he just brought that up. It's as if, well, no, it is not as if. They talk. He spoke with TPUSA. They gave him that weird tidbit of information, and he's sharing it just to show us that he knows. What? I don't know, but he needs us to know that he's got insiders.
Here's the information. But the key here is Paramount Tactical contacted him. So the idea that he's running around in damage control, well, he's their PR person, maybe he should. Because I've told him he should go on the air for weeks. I've told him he should counter this. Because they got receipts, they got what Charlie really said, they've got all the stuff. Okay?
So he's been telling TPUSA for weeks. So he's been in communication with them for weeks. So they're avoiding all of her questions for weeks. But talking to this guy who's known for being a kook. He's known for this. That's who TPUSA is communicating with. That's who they're taking advice from.
Charlie hated you for at least 2 years, but they have not been trying to get in a fight with you. It was on their website that you were affiliated with them for 2 years. Charlie was a gentleman and would push you off to Andrew Colvett because he didn't want to escalate things with you.
So he just said Charlie hated her. But he likes her. He loves her. Great friend, great friend. She talks good about him. He just said that Charlie hated Candace Owens, and she wasn't on the TPUSA website for 2 years, which is a lie.
Come out the back. And that's all true, they said. And you saw the footage. They showed it to you that the bullet didn't come out the back. And it was agreed, this is gory, we shouldn't put this out. So it's the same thing here. Don't show the kids, but here's the timestamp, here's the information.
Sorry. I know I keep stopping. Sorry. It was not up to them to put it out or not put it out. They shouldn't have had the footage. That SD card was illegally obtained off of a crime scene. The guy who took it lied and said the police told him to take it out of the camera. Then he changed the story to, well, people were stealing stuff, so I didn't want them to steal the SD card. But he left the camera. He literally stepped on the chair that Charlie was sitting on when Charlie got shot. Literally. In the middle of a crime scene, stomping on the chair where the dead man was just sitting. Tainting evidence, literal evidence. Then he steals evidence off the crime scene. You can't, everybody knows you can't touch a crime scene. Stole the SD card and took it home. And she wanted to see a front view because she did not believe that a 30-06 is what shot him in the neck, because she watched all these other people. And then she saw, okay. And then she went on air the next show and said, I can verify that the bullet did not go through. Doesn't mean it wasn't a 30-06, or it doesn't mean it was a 30-06. She just verified that it did not go through. So that was the significance of that. It had nothing to do with, it's too gory to put out. No, they weren't even supposed to have it. Well, the police have a copy. No, they're supposed to have that. You don't make copies for the police. It's not yours. The evidence is not yours to decide and disperse and to show. That was the problem with that SD card. Charlie literally fell over. They dragged his dead body off. This guy steps on a chair to pull an SD card out of a camera and then lied about it 3 times. That's not suspicious at all. I can't believe anybody's asking him questions. Police told me to do it. No, they didn't. Police said they didn't. Oh, well, they were stealing stuff. No. Oh, well, I just wanted to hold on to it so that gory stuff doesn't get out. Okay, that's 3 stories, dude. On something you weren't supposed to do. I can't believe he should have at least been charged with something. Like, you can't just stomp your way through a crime scene and take stuff. That's evidence. The man died on that chair. Before he hit the ground, he was dead. Anybody who saw it knows that. He took the chair, rolled it to where he needed to roll it to, and stepped on it. No, don't worry about it. That's not evidence. And then they act like, I can't believe people are asking us all these questions. Why are you doing stuff like this and then lying about it? You can't do both. You can't be a victim and then be doing illegal stuff at the same time.
But the key here is Paramount Tactical contacted him. So the idea that he's running around in damage control, well, he's their PR person, maybe he should. Because I've told him he should go on the air for weeks. I've told him he should counter this. Because they got receipts, they got what Charlie really said, they've got all the stuff, okay, that Charlie hated you for at least 2 years. But they have not been trying to get in a fight with you. It was on their website that you weren't affiliated with them for 2 years. Charlie was a gentleman and would push you off to Andrew Colvett because he didn't want to escalate things with you. And that's the bottom line. Because you've been a troublemaker everywhere you go and everything you do. That's the bottom line. And you work for the Mossad operation on record that is the Daily Wire. I've never worked for a Mossad operation. So you guys just keep spewing your Israel stuff on your stream last night. Oh, Netanyahu, he's mad. You won't be able to control this. Screw Netanyahu. Everybody knows that I don't work for those people, but that's all you guys do is imply that because you need to distract away from the fact that all these people you said were at this meeting through your minion were not there. So now you change.
So keep in mind, since I played the first video that he made, and we're on video number 5 or 6. She has not gone live at all during this whole time. I don't know what he's talking about. You guys talk about Bibi Netanyahu. He's just making it all up. Or he's talking about somebody else that has nothing to do with her. But she's worked for Mossad now. He's just making stuff up and attributing. So if he sees anybody say anything that disagrees with him, he's going to call them her minion and that she's the puppet master. This is unbelievable. Oh, no. He was never. No. They had to make Erica Kirk the CEO so that she could get the insurance money from one of their shell corporations. And the only people who could pull that money out from the insurance or claim it is the CEO of TPUSA, which is why she had to immediately be made CEO.
To some high-level person from the Pentagon flying down to inspect the border operation. They announced in July they were going to have this border inspection. And of course, Fort Huachuca is a major border base. Oh my God, look, there was somebody from the Defense Department there. That proves it. Now it's about a plane on the 8th. Talk about misdirection like a magician does. Talk about gaslighting. Talk about shell games. Talk about moving the goalposts. I mean, this is insane. Andrew, this is from Gary at Paramount Tactical. Hope you had a great time at AmFest. I'm doing an expose of Mitchell Snow tonight at 6 p.m. ET. So is Nate over at the VFT and Jesse on Fire, who are both no friends of TPUSA, that's two Green Berets, and is still wholly aligned with Candace at 8 p.m. Can you provide anything proving Erica's whereabouts on the 9th? I know I've heard she was with her mother. Even giving me a statement to confirm this will be helpful. Hard evidence is obviously better. So he gives him hard evidence 3 hours later, okay? But let's just stop. Notice in the video that Candace put out last night on Instagram, she says, what are you doing distracting to the 9th? It's all about the plane and the Pentagon official coming on the 8th. She just started talking about this a couple days ago as her new diversion from the previous lies.
Okay, the guy said he saw her on the 8th. It's kind of like the Brian Hart poll where they're just like giving us alibis for times that we're not talking about. Again, I wasn't even necessarily pressuring them for an alibi.
So they all want alibis for the 9th. Now she's like, I don't want alibis. No, this is a distraction from
She didn't say
8th,
that.
and that's why we're all so scared.
All right. So, of course, I went back and found what we talked about earlier. This is a reminder. She never said anything about Erica Kirk on the 9th, ever. So that alibi did not make sense, just like she just said. She said, I don't know why they're giving me an alibi for the 9th. Why? Because this.
But like you get to the base and just kind of what's your general mood. And this is on September 8th, the evening of September 8th at the Candlewood Inn and Suites, which you have given me all the documentation for.
That chance. So as I'm checking in and then I go to my room and then come back out, he was joined and joined by a female that you can definitely tell when, how do you put it, when people are well off and they're dressing down. She was definitely dressing down, and it was very well kept. The one thing I noticed about the woman that really stuck out to me was her eyes. And
See? So he had just checked in, went upstairs, came back down. He was going to get dinner, and that's when he saw her. That's when he saw her. It had nothing to do with the 9th. And he's making it seem like, oh, she's at the 9th. On the 9th. And now he's doing the crazy stuff. She was framed with him going crazy. No, she's not gone crazy. Absolutely not. She's one of the only sane ones. She's laughing at these people because they're acting like she's crazy. And they keep saying it. She's the only one with a level head. I can't wait. She's going to be live probably at 4. Between 4 and 5, she always goes live. Here, it's 3 o'clock, so in an hour. But look at him. He's acting like she's lying.
Or she is the biggest sociopath I've ever seen. She's either gone nuts, is some type of paranoid schizophrenic, or I think she's cold-blooded evil, folks. So you just saw her 2 hours later. Hey man, sorry, just seeing.
She's cold-blooded evil.
This been off my phone. But it's worth saying, laugh out loud, Erica wasn't in some fort in Tucson. The internet has gone insane. She woke up next to Charlie, went to the office with Charlie all day, woke him up from a nap before Fox hit, went to dinner with Charlie. Literally, people are lunatics. And then he sends a screenshot from 8:33 Pacific time, and it's Erica covering up the faces of her kids, and it's got the timestamp and all the rest of it. And Candace doesn't even deny this is real. She just goes, look, it's Erica. She's involved. She's running it. Yeah, she flew to Tennessee to try to get you to stop accusing her of all this and implying she was involved in the murder, which you then deny all the compilations of. I mean, this is sick. You accuse people, you do all this, you have a lunatic known con man on, serial wife and child abuser, and you raise him hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then people obliquely defend themselves and you spin up this giant story and sick your mob of lunatics on them? Wow. Proof she was with her kids at 8:33 a.m. Pacific time. Don't share taking them for a walk before going to the office. And that turns into he's covertly putting out an alibi, but don't share because they don't want people to know he's involved as their PR spokesperson. No, Erica didn't want the picture of her kids shared. I mean, this is so sick, people. I mean, holy mackerel. This is next level horseshit. And you watch it, it's like your soul is being drained away by this gossip demon, this spirit of deception. I don't follow gossip shows. And Candace has basically gotten politically where she doesn't really cover conservative topics. She just attacks conservatives and populists and Trump. And it's basically what the Democrats were. So I YouTube booster. And I was like, man, I got a bad feeling she's working with the bad guys. They're like, no, she's good. Come on. I'm like, all right. Now those folks have both come around. They're like, yeah, this is bad. Because now when you go back and look at what she does, right at key points, right at key confirmations, she attacks. And so I don't think she's mentally ill. I don't think she has psychosis or postpartum. I mean, I think she's cold-blooded, man. And you watched her on that Instagram last night. She's smiling. It's funny. And she just came out and Erica Kirk and the congressman and the head of USA Security are at this meeting to kill Charlie. And, oh, I didn't say that. Yeah, you and your people did. And
Nobody ever said that. He just totally made that up. There's Eastern Time, Central, and Pacific. Pacific is West. He just made all this up.
Oh, it's overwhelming. The military. It looks like they did it. It's just insane. I see through all of this. She's trying to change the subject down to the 8th. No, it was all about the 9th. So they bring receipts for the 9th, and they bring their alibis, and that's damage control. When you accuse people of stuff they defend themselves, that's damage control. You spin every aspect of it. Now it's about the 8th, and some military plane that flew in. When you read the stuff she put out on X yesterday, I mean, let me read you this. And does this sound like the ramblings of a lunatic? But it's not. This stuff is written. Just like the Q stuff was written by Deep State Intelligence to be nebulous, to have some facts in it. And so people check those facts and go, oh, yeah, that's true. The person did come there. Well, that's proof it happened. You see, just like Mitch Snow was at Fort Huachuca that day, he claims. This letter looks like a 5-year-old wrote it. Who knows that's even real? With a different name than Mitch Snow.
The letter looks like a 5-year-old wrote it. Well, his son confirmed it. Unfortunately for you, the son who hates him confirmed that it was true. He had no reason to do that.
He used like 4 other names, but none of that's a red flag. So it's like, no, he was there, so it's all true. Then the people you accuse of being there, part of the plot, show they weren't there, and that's proof of the guilt. So it's this inquisitor. You've got to answer to her. And when you do answer, you're desperate. You got a PR disaster. And she smiles and the skin crawls.
Look at him.
So, listen to her. RCH 702 has been identified. Dun, dun, dun. We're back to planes. I didn't know what Chuka was about a plane. No. Forget the 9th. Forget the secret meeting. No. Now it's the 8th. You didn't know that? Oh, nice try, folks. On July 11th, the very day that Charlie told Tucker Carlson to go max in a speech against Israel, which launched the war against Charlie's top donors, there was a shakeup at D.C. Dustin Guard Weiss was enrolled as the new executive director of the CIA, replacing John Ratcliffe.
Okay, so that actually, she made a mistake. He did not replace John Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe is still the head of the CIA. They changed the titles, their job titles. So she got that wrong, but it doesn't matter to this story. But I just thought it's fair to say that she was wrong about that.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So the day Charlie talks to Tucker, there's a shakeup at the CIA. Okay. All right. Okay. Previously, Weiss was the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security. He was replaced in that position by Bradley Hansel, who the Senate voted to confirm July 22nd. Whoa, boy, Erica Kirk's in, and she's all going, woo, you're in trouble, woo. It's like, ooh, look, I got an orange pen. That's, woo, look at that. I mean, you're like reading this, like, what the fuck is this? It was Bradley Hansel's office who booked the trip from Fort Andrews to Colorado Springs. You mean the Pentagon's flying to main command bases? Whoa. I mean, that's like a bear shitting in the woods. I mean, it's going to be like Trump was in the White House. Whoa, what the hell? A rattlesnake was in a hole in the ground. A bird flew in the sky. It was Bradley Hansel's office who booked the trip from Fort Andrews, Colorado Springs to Tucson before the call sign turned Sam as it entered into Fort Huachuca on the 8th. And it was an announced trip months before to inspect border security. That's a border security base. Oh my God, we have some brass that went to the base on the 8th. We're finding out who was on the plane.
Going crazy.
They're trying to divert you folks from the 8th. We never said the 9th. It was never about a meeting in a skiff. It was never about Congressman Amadai. It was never about the head of the... No, that is a lie. We never said that.
The only thing that she laughed about switching from the 8th to the 9th was Erica Kirk's alibi. He's making it about everything else so that he can make her sound crazy. Meanwhile, he's making all these weird sounds and he's doing all this. He's looking crazy. He doesn't see it. I doubt he cares. But the people around him should be better. They really should, because you can't allow your boss to look this insane. Even for him, this is insane. This is insane.
We were working to confirm who else was aboard the plane and why. Discussing the flight seems to have caused such a deep state panic. You mean people are sick of you lying about people planning murders on the 9th? We start discrediting it, so you just magically bring up this flight and say we're all upset about you because of a flight the day before on the 8th? No, please find out who's on board. I'm sure you'll accuse them, and suddenly Mitch Snow will claim he was in a secret meeting with them, and they all talk about murdering Charlie. I mean, what the hell? How dumb do you think we are? You just started talking about this 2 days ago. We're not been talking about that. Now you want us to go debate you about this plane. No, you just put your...
The plane story always led to this story. This guy, Mitch, said he was there. The topic came up while they were talking about the planes. It's always like There's no way he watches. There's no way. There's no way he watches. And his people got to be better. They just have to be better.
Evidence out about it. We'll listen to you, the great inquisitor, the God
Look at
of
his
the mountain
face.
that gives us the stone tablets, the burning bush. But since you're the burning bush, you got to back it up. We want to know about the 9th, sweetie. The 9th. The 9th. Mr. Snow. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is just totally insane. And it goes on from there.
Yeah,
I mean, this is painful. And it is so incredibly sad that this is going on. And I don't know what to say. These are outrageous claims. I thought, my God, are these Egyptian planes thing? Oh my God, is this really this meeting at Fort Huachuca? I better look into it. And I said, have you checked alibis? Have you checked it all falls apart?
All over.
And then she goes, it's not about the 9th, it's not about the SCIF meeting, you dummies. It's about the 8th. And this trip announced in July where this undersecretary is visiting the bases and doing inspections. I mean, that is, whoa. A border inspection tour goes to one of the main border bases. I mean, folks, you can't cover this up. This is smoking gun. Obviously, this guy did it. Obviously, everyone on the plane did it. And obviously, Mitch Snow would say there was a new meeting he saw. Because Candace even says she thought maybe it's this Daily Wire guy was there. So she sends him a picture of the Daily Wire guy, and Mitch Snow goes, damn it, he was there too.
After everything that we've learned about MK Ultra, everything we learned about Operation Fast and the Furious, everything we learned about Obama drone striking American citizens on foreign soil without a warrant. I mean, the list goes on and on. The JFK, the MLK, the RFK assassination. You attacking Candace Owens, the only person asking questions, even if they're wrong, even if she has a bad theory. What the fuck does it matter, Alex? You don't have better shit to cover. You don't have anything else to talk about. Like, you're the one who started this war. You're the one who started all of this nonsense. And like, nobody cares about whatever the fuck you're presenting, right? We don't. Honestly, I don't. Anyways, I want questions answered.
All right, that's good.
I
Let's
want
stop
to
there.
see the
So because we've been lied to in the past, there's a cash shell cover-up, which I first exposed. That's a real dangerous thing to do. Then we're supposed to believe whatever she says and blaming innocent people and discrediting the whole thing.
No, because they've never been honest about a political assassination, ever. That's why you shouldn't believe them. How many times do you have to be lied to about the same thing? We still don't know what happened. The only thing we know about Trump getting shot in the ear during the campaign came from Tucker Carlson, who they all also say is evil. He's the only one who's given us information. That's why, Alex. It has nothing to do with listening to her. It really is sad. It really is, because this is probably going to end him. Now, he's always going to have a following, but the credibility and the fact that he acknowledged the conversation with Laura Loomer, he's done. TPUSA is not going to make it past this next election. They may make it to the presidential election. I don't see them going forward. They're not going to be effective at all, and at some point they're going to dissolve. This is my prediction. What is this? January 5th, 2026. TPUSA won't make it. Alex Jones he's just going to slide into more obscurity than he already has since that lawsuit.
And I started the war. I would investigate these incredible claims. Was it really this Fort Huachuca? Was this really all this stuff? And it wasn't true. And so I was supposed to just, well, we don't trust the system, so we'll just believe whatever a talk show host says. That is the most immoral, morally bankrupt garbage you could ever see. It's crazy. You did this. I nicely questioned the planes. I'm a demon. I said, you better watch out. This guy's a kook on this Huachuca thing. Oh, you're working for the Mossad. And now you've got, no one cares. You're saying, oh, you're discredited. Oh, no one cares. Yeah, let's see where we are in a couple years here, bro. Hey.
Mind you, she has never said any of this stuff to him. She tweeted back to him twice. And one of them was actually vague. It was just like, now Alex Jones has jumped into it. That's it. Like, she didn't even say anything about him. And he's acting as if they're in an argument. There's been mediators trying to mediate. We can't have you guys fighting. She's not fighting. He is. He's fighting with the chat and comments. And it's clearly broken him.
About $1 per time I was told I was finished, I'd be a trillionaire. You're a fool. Our reporter basically discovered Candace Owens, did big interviews with her. She blew up. She was a Democrat. She was a liberal. She was putting out.
He discovered, him and his reporter discovered Candace Owens now. This is insane. They discovered Candace Owens. So this is how he gets an appeal to authority is, hey, I discovered her. I love her. I've known her 10 years. I give her a first interview. Right before calling her evil sociopath, on all the other things he's called her and accused her of lying.
Really bankrupt garbage you could ever see. It's crazy. You did this. I nicely questioned the planes. I'm a demon. I said, you better watch out. This guy's a kook on this Huachuca thing. Oh, you're working for the Mossad. And now you've got, no one cares. You're saying, oh, you're discredited. Oh, no one cares. Yeah, let's see where we are in a couple years here, bro. Hey, about $1 per time I was told I was finished, I'd be a trillionaire. You're a fool. Our reporter basically discovered Candace Owens, did big interviews with her. She blew up. She was a Democrat. She was a liberal. She was putting out a website that docks conservatives. The left was harassing her and terrorizing her, acting like it was white supremacist to manipulate her. She found out about it. She woke up, and she became a conservative. We had her here in one of her first big interviews. I think she's done a great job over the years. I don't think against Candace Owens. But in the last 2-3 weeks, 2.5 weeks or so, something happened that is a clear moral line for me. A bunch of her ring wraiths, a bunch of her her priesthood saying, hey,
Priesthood.
Alice, we don't care if she's accurate. We're taking down TPUSA. And I know
There
the
he goes
inside baseball
again.
from Charlie, all the stuff they've got, haven't released yet. They brought her 2 Mondays ago and said, you want this out? What Charlie really thought about you? And how it was on the website, you weren't part of it 2 years ago?
So now he's claiming that during that meeting, they threatened her, which you don't think she would have said that? He's claiming again to have insider information that they threatened her. You want this to come out about you? And that's what got her to what? Bring Mitch on about Erica? Like, that doesn't even make sense. He didn't follow his own logic all the way through. If they threatened her and it worked, why would she then come out with Mitch saying that he saw Erica Kirk at a hotel the night before Charlie got killed? Your own logic makes no sense.
Alice, we don't care if she's accurate. We're taking down TPUSA. And I know the inside baseball from Charlie, all the stuff they've got, haven't released yet. They brought her 2 Mondays ago and said, you want this out? What Charlie really thought about you? And how it was on the website, you weren't part of it 2 years ago? And how you're milking this
Why?
and all this other stuff?
So, because they obviously removed her, I know I saw her on the website. And the reason I know is because I was live. I should have checked my live. But Eric Bowling said that he hadn't seen her in a long time, and he was a honorary advisor or something like that. And I went to the website, and he was not on the website. She was. And this was in September or October. So, or it had to be September. So because I can't go to their site and prove that he's lying, I just asked, what would it be, Siri, whatever the AI is for Google. Candace Owens was removed from the Turning Point USA website in late 2025, not 2 years ago. Alex, what kind of employees do you have that they let you go up and say stupid stuff that is just patently false? They all should be fired. They should not be allowing him to say the things he's saying and do the things he's doing. They should be saying, no, she was on there until September or whatever the date was. And that was following up public fallout over her promotion of conspiracy theories. They lied, and somebody lied and said that she praised Hitler because she said he wasn't a nationalist or something like that. I don't even remember the whole story. And she ended up stepping down because of it, because she wouldn't apologize. So key details regarding her removal and the conflict include dun, dun, dun. Public fallout late 2025. Although Owens officially resigned as TPUSA Communications Director in May 2019, she remained a featured figure and regular guest speaker at their events through 2024, which we all know because I talked about that. The formal break by September 2025, TPUSA began distancing themselves from Owens. Media reports from that month noted she was no longer featured on the organization's website, and TPUSA's leadership quickly rebutted her claims. So they took her off the website in September. That's it. That's it. Not 2 years ago. He keeps saying this. He didn't like you. You haven't been on the website in 2 years. I don't even know where he's getting that from or why.
Again, how is your relationship with Candace Owens?
Yeah, let's hear how much he hated Candace Owens, by the way. Oh, sorry, I went a little too far back. How was your relationship with Candace
Again,
Owens?
how is your relationship with Candace Owens nowadays?
She's a great friend.
She's-
Look, I don't agree with everything
Great
Candace
friend.
says, but you know what I don't do? I don't stop being friends with people just because people morally blackmail me. I don't do that, and you shouldn't either.
Good.
I have different views on things as Candace. I have different views on Israel than Candace. I have different views on a lot of geopolitics. But honestly, I traveled the country with Candace. I went to her wedding. I saw her meet her husband. I went to Israel with Candace, which is a fun story I'll tell you at some point. But what I don't like is when people demand, you must stop being friends with somebody. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Remember what Ben Shapiro did at AmFest? He got on stage in front of the world to give a moral obligation to call her out and tuck her out, and not to platform people like Nick Fuentes. Exact opposite of what Charlie Kirk stood for and says right here.
That's a left-wing tactic.
It is.
Don't do that. I'm not saying you do that, but other people do that. We should never resort to that. In
Never.
fact, if you believe what I believe, shouldn't you want me to be friends with people that don't agree with us? shouldn't you want me to also be a tool of influence? And so I think the world of Candace. She's a great mother. She certainly has very, very fun opinions at times. And she's a great talent. She says a lot of stuff that sometimes I don't agree with, but that's what makes our relationship and our friendship interesting. My advice to all of you, you might not like somebody, but never tell somebody like me to stop being friends with somebody on an interpersonal level just because of disagreement. It's bad. It's what the left does, and we should rise above it as conservatives. Thank you so much.
But he said Charlie Kirk hated you. This TPUSA took you off the website 2 years ago. No, neither of them are true.
France, Israeli, Australia, the Daily Wire, PragerU, Turning Point USA, Alex Jones, Christian influencers, entire mainstream media, APAC, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Big Pharma, Hollywood versus you. Yeah, right. You position yourself perfectly to always be the victim. How about MI6? How about your husband? How about Keir Starmer waging war against Trump and Elon Musk? How are they doing? No, you changed the subject. You said there was a meeting at Fort Huachuca with all these people that have been proven to be somewhere else. And then she says, and our people say, I never really said the military was involved. I never said this meeting was about killing him. What the hell? That's what you've all said. So just stop lying to us. Stop talking to us like we're like this.
No, so what they do is people say, hey, that's kind of suspicious. And these people make the insinuations. These people are the ones who say, so what are you saying? The military's in on it? And people like myself are like, no. And then they run with it anyway and say, look, they're saying that the military's in on it. No. It's very weird that the day before, the head of Charlie Kirk security was at this place. If it's true, that's what made this story compelling. If it's true, that needs to be looked into. If his wife was there the day before with somebody who was at the meeting the next day, it needs to be looked into. There's no claim there. And they apply their insinuations and say that we're the ones making the innuendos. Candace Owens is all at fault.
The Democrats said they were going to kill him, and now everybody in the world's against her. That's right. Her against the world. Now, I was already talking to TPUSA last week about this story, and they said, listen, we know where all our people were, including the head of security, and he wasn't even in Arizona when this happened. We'll send you the information. And so I got the information. And then last night, the head of security, separately, because I was talking to other people at TPUSA, Brian Tarpole, sent me his information, his receipt buying the tickets on the 7th, him then using the tickets to leave from Dallas out to Salt Lake City ahead of the event the next day with Charlie Kirk. And the times he's in the air are the times that they're saying he was at this base where they think the assassination was being planned in Arizona. So just absolutely wild info. And the reason I held off on this information last week is I didn't want to get in a fight with Candace. And they were going to be meeting on Monday, they told me, but to keep that in confidence in Tennessee. And so they were going to present her this information, other information, hope they could just diffuse all this because they don't want to fight with Candace. And so she comes out after that meeting and says it was really great. Maybe everything's going to be okay. I'm like, wonderful. Move on. Then she has.
He never says why he felt the need to get in it and tell somebody to move on. He just jumped in. He said he was talking about it before. It's pretty insane. I don't want anything to do with it. Then why are you in it? It's been 3 weeks now. You've been screaming about her. She is that last tweet was the third time she's even referenced his name and didn't really say anything about him. And he's acting like they've been in a back and forth for 3 weeks. She has not gone live. She's going live in about a half hour. But he's acting like there's this big war going on.
Mitch Snow on the show, and he doubles down and says, Erica Kirk was there. He's 99% sure.
Okay, so here is the issue that is only adding fuel to this fire. And I told you guys yesterday, I'm not fully bought in on Mitch Snow or what he saw at Camp Huachuca. I am suspending judgment. That being said, and they keep doing this to Candace Owens, debunking that doesn't debunk, just makes things worse. Jones put out these findings on X. Look at this. He was up to 747,000 views on X with 2,400 likes. Candace put a comment on this, and it only had 187,000 views, but it had 14,000 likes. These ratio differences are crazy. But look at what she said. This debunks nothing. The meeting Candace Owens alleged happened at Fort Huachuca, she says concluded at 7:30 a.m. on September 9th. And one of the planes headed straight for Texas, which is just a hop away. This timing is also consistent with the U.S. Congressman Mark Amoti, who was also at this meeting, according to Mitch, and missed the morning roll call on the House floor on September 9th, despite telling everybody that he was in D.C. on the House floor. Anyway, Candace then finishes and says, it's weird that Alex would publish this. And that is right, because none of these flight times give any indication that Brian Harpole could not have attended that meeting at Fort Huachuca. He departed Los Angeles at 11:59 p.m. and arrived in Dallas-Fort Worth on September 8th at 4:57 a.m. He then departed Dallas-Fort Worth at 1:42 p.m. So no, there are no published whereabouts for Brian Harpole from 4:57 a.m. on September 8th through 1:42 p.m. on September 9th. He was not in the air during the time of the meeting that took place. So this is just a lie. Again, you can think whatever you want about this alleged claim that Mitch Snow is making. I already told you, I personally am suspending judgment. But it's this type of stuff, this debunking that doesn't debunk. It only adds fuel to the fire.
As far as
And I'm in a similar spot to him, but the more they do this and the more they lie, the more I'm starting to believe that there has to be something there. Because why are they investing so much time in this guy? Why are they going to talk to all of his ex-wives or ex-girlfriends and his kids? And what are you doing? The amount of time that they've wasted trying to discredit this guy, why wouldn't they spend that time actually speaking to him and trying to figure out, did he really see these people? It's just weird that the time that's being invested in destroying him in his life can be spent in a much more fruitful way, in my opinion. And that is trying to actually find out if the claim is true. Nobody cares about his credibility. Because like I said earlier, mob bosses get taken down by other mobsters. Gangbangers get taken down by other gangbangers. You don't have to be Saint Michael to make a claim that you saw something. Killers see things too. They testify literally in court. And the courts won't allow certain things in so that you don't go off of the person's credibility if it's prejudicial. Meaning, hey, yes, he was arrested in the past, but that's nobody's business. We're talking about what he's saying today in court. They will literally block the prosecution from being, or defense, depending on who's bringing the person up. They will block the jury's ability to even know about his history so that they can focus on the claim, whether you believe that that's true or not. It's what they do. I'll check that out. I'll check that out. I can't. I may be able to get it off of Twitch. Sorry, somebody gave me a link, but I can't click it and copy it. But I might be able to do it on Twitch. Anyway,
I'm concerned, then you're just flat out evil. Flat out evil. And I do have to start asking.
So here is, again, these are all different days for over the last 3 weeks. All of these videos are different days. So now he's calling her evil again. He loves her. He discovered her, but she's evil.
Who are you working for? Is it Keir Starmer and the Brits trying to discredit Trump? We know they're launching all these domestic attacks and Obama moving shop over there to undermine the country. Is it the EU? I'm not going to say it's Qatar, but that's it. Or you just, like all your minions just constantly attack TPUSA, attack Trump. The left all loves you now. You're boosted on YouTube. Everybody else is censored. Work for the Daily Wire Mossad operation. That's really working for Mossad. That's who ran that, funded that Zionist. I didn't work for those people. So, this is just absolutely crazy. And so I'm really ashamed that I was ever associated with you. And I'm just wondering what new crap you're going to pull up next. So I love I can take my Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, and you. It's all just, a constellation of disinformation. I've never put out stuff that I thought wasn't true. I've never sat there and done stuff like this. And I've been accused of stuff I never did. And then I sit there and I watch all this crap go on, When you first got on the Daily Wire, you want to be on your show, you apologize for not standing up for when I got censored and the rest of it, whatever. That's just, it was fashionable to do that back then. And, as far as I'm concerned.
See these little peeks into their history that he keeps letting out. Like the first one was, hey, I invited you on my show, you didn't come on. That's okay. That's okay. Now he's saying, yeah, you try to apologize for not sticking up for me. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. There's a jealousy here. It seems as if he wants to be the only person who gets looked to for conspiracy theory. And it's driving him crazy that people not only are listening to her, but it's that people aren't taking him seriously and what he wants to look at. Yeah, I can't copy or paste that. Otherwise, I would check it out.
You're just all part of the Desta plan to undermine this country and create balkanization. But you think we're stupid. We're not stupid. It's about the people you and your fake source said were there and all you were sure of it and all the rest of it. Now you want to make it about a plane with an officer flying to a military base for border stuff? Or for the undersecretary? Some officers? Unbelievable. And I guess when you get their names, you'll say that, they did it. And suddenly Mitchell, no, it's them. That's them. 99%. Unbelievable. Only Candace is investigating. Only Candace talks about the Charlie Kirk thing. Only Candace. And you're attacking her. And her minions are like, Jones says if you don't believe every word the FBI says in the deep state, then you're a traitor in the CIA. You guys literally have more unified talking points than MSNBC. I mean, literally, you're just lockstep horse shit. And that's why.
Again, they have not had a conversation. They have had, she's only referred to him in 3 tweets. And look at how crazy he's going. This is a whole nother day. Almost every day he had something to say. Let's see. Almost every day he's had something to say. Hold on 1 second. I'm listening to that right now. See if I can play it on YouTube. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry. So somebody from Twitch said this. I couldn't copy and paste it, so I went to Twitch and I was able to click the link on Twitch. So let's play this real quick. This is funny. Epic. There we go. This is who we're watching. I can't pull it up. Hold on. Sorry. Pull this down. What is this one at? 5741.
We got to come together under a code of freedom and liberty and justice and coming together and working together and being strong. And that's what InfoWars is. And that's why the enemies of humanity hate us so much, because we love God and God loves humanity. And I am a human supremacist. 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 That term will be the future war with the robots and the AI. What you're hearing now is the entire future and everything they tried to stop us from doing. Our supremacy will not end with this planet. We will keep all the stars. We will colonize. We will green dead worlds. We will go interdimensional. We will unlock the things of the universe. God has laid them out like Christmas presents for his children. And I am extremely honored to be in the fulcrum and the heart of the fight to bring our race, the human race, in a race for the future. I am honored to be here. We will break the enemy. We will break the pedophiles. We will break the Satanists, because God already sent his own self down here to show us he could do it. God would never ask us to go through an obstacle course he wouldn't go through. And now we're going to go through what Christ did. And we're going to go through it, and we're going to be destroyed, but reborn on the other side.
He never says anything that he doesn't believe. Sorry, back to this.
When people try to bully me, and I know I'm right, I didn't want that to be on this, case this much. I nicely asked questions. I nicely said, hey, you're getting set up here by this snow job guy. And then you guys just keep trying to bully me. All of her surrogates and her in the past compilations are implying TPUSA killed him and there's a cover-up, and they're there with the military planning the hit. So, and of course, all of her supporters are saying, obviously, it's all real. They plan the murder there. But then you watch your Grand Inquisitor, your Empress, your God on the mountain that we received the tablets, stone tablets from, saying, that's ridiculous. I'm not saying they were planning to kill him there. God, Harrison Smith, you boob. I mean, gaslight. So that's why I'm getting pissed off. And I'm getting really pissed off. You put out an alibi, Erica Kirk, for the 9th. I'm saying you're there on the 8th. Everybody's like, well, you're saying the 9th. So it doesn't matter if she puts something on the 8th. It doesn't matter. It's all, look, we all know. We all know that Mr. Snow is God. He is God. Well, Candace is the father, the creator of the universe. Snow is like the Jesus. He's just the son of the God. Okay? So, Snow is the God man. Anyone not following that or believing that should be excommunicado. In fact, I think should be burned at the stake, actually. And Salem witch trials, too. I mean, like Candace says, she has dreams and stuff. That's how she knows. So if she dreams, well, she had a dream that the spokesperson for TPUSA was a betrayer and a bad guy. Colvin. So we know that now. And if she has a dream about me, maybe I was there. Maybe Trump pulled the trigger. Maybe Barron. Maybe Barron Trump was actually the boyfriend of Tyler Robinson. I'm being sarcastic, folks. This is total bunker town. Okay? So that's why I'm pissed off. And to see her go back and forth. And I'm not saying anything's going on here. oh, your alibis don't fit. She's judge, jury, and executioner. She's so arrogant, and it's hurting any real investigation. And it becomes this mindless litmus test. She acts like we're all guilty.
What real investigation is he even talking about? She's hurting any real investigation. There's nobody else investigating. Federal government says they got their guy. We got him. See you in Valhalla, Charlie. According to them, it's over. It does. he is, and he's always been this way. But maybe I just overlooked a lot of this. But I think she broke him. What's funny is that she's ignoring him. She hasn't said anything to this guy. And he's acting like they're in a 12-round fight.
To prove innocent. I'm talking about just the general public. And that she is on the mountain and speaks like the Pope, ex cathedra from the throne at the Vatican. And I'm just done with it. You can't sit there and whole cloth make this stuff up, okay? I always got accused of being a conspiracy theorist. That's not what I do. 99% of the time, I'm just covering news and reports and information. So the more people attack me, the more people say I work for Israel, the more people say that I'm wrong, the more people you double down and say how smart Mr. Snow is and how great he is, the more I'm going to cover this. Okay? It's that simple. How dare you accuse her, the princess of all earth, the goddess of the foundations of the universe, the female deity of all time and space. So, I know the world's complex. I know it's just easier just to sit there and hear a bunch of hyperbole and bullshit. But the flip-flopping, the changing of narratives, all the stuff, it's made me physically sick. And I'm tired of it. And a lot of people are tired of it. And so I'm forced to hear about her theories constantly. I go look them up. They're not accurate. I say, this is bullshit.
And this is what I keep telling people on X. You don't have to watch. Just block her. If somebody brings her up in a positive light, block them. He says he's forced.
And then I'm a traitor and I work for Ben Shapiro and the ADL that have all been trying to get me off the air forever. And I don't even want to examine more what she's done in the past because I've been spot checking it. I'm like, oh my God, this is malicious. It's predatory in my view. And
Predatory.
Look, she was a Democrat before, created a doxing site, go after conservatives. Then she decides to flip to the conservatives. And it's just an ongoing history of this. So that's where I'm at right now. And she's doubling down on Snow. She's doubling down on him being, all this crap. And, vindicated. There's a report. He was at the base. I said day 1 weeks ago, I said, I'm not doubting he was at the base. I said, I got to investigate her now. I got a bad feeling. I didn't have a bad feeling. God gave me a good brain. I already knew. I dropped the ball. I apologize. She's a globalist agent. I dropped the ball and I failed you and I'm sorry. I got to follow my gut every time. It's never wrong. And I saw so much more she did. And I love her people threatening me and all their doxing of people and all of it. You think that's going to make me go away?
How do you dox Alex Jones? He's just making stuff up. 1 second. Oh, Alex. Alex Jones. Who's doxing you, Alex Jones? You can literally Google his rental house and then the Texas homes of disgraced conspiracy theorists. Alex Jones. You can literally look where he is. You can look it up right now. How do you dox this guy? How do you dox him? Details of his mansion, his Austin mansion. Like, how do you dox somebody when you have all the information right here? These people are doxing me. You're public. Everyone knows where you live.
Me up like a nuclear test site waking up Godzilla. So just get your asses ready. Because you want a war? I want your war. I want it all. I want the doxing. I want the lies. I want the attacks. I'm going to take you on. Because you work for the deep state and the Democratic Party and the CIA and MI6, and I see your ass. So you just get ready. This ain't my first rodeo.
Oh, sorry. He said this ain't my first rodeo. I don't know if you heard that. She broke him. He's completely lost it. And that was so clearly fake. So clearly fake. He's trying to do what he used to do. Like the clip I played. At least he was into it. He was turning red. He was really into it. This one was just, it's fake. He doesn't believe any of this stuff. If he does, he's completely lost it. But his time's come. He's done. His, I don't want to call it influence because he doesn't really have influence. What he's known for, his shtick, is now very transparent. And he's literally doing the opposite of everything that he's talked about globalists and reptilians have been doing all this time. Now he's on their side. That's all I got. Imo Speaks. If you are new here, please like, subscribe, share. I'll put my links back in here. Oh, that's not my links. That's somebody else's links. Where are my links? There they are. Follow me on X if you want to be entertained by me. And I'm not really trolling that many people. I try to have honest conversations with these people. Because I need them to understand that it's not that if she's wrong, we don't care about her being wrong. It's that we're moving forward. But for whatever reason, these people just attack and call you a cult member and all this other stuff. So these are the other, these are my links. So that second one is my art channel. So I'll be going live every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm drawing. So right now I'm doing a drawing of my father. I'm about, I'd say 3/4 of the way done. I still have some work to do. You can't see right now. This is where I'm at right now. This. One second. So this is what I'm doing on Tuesdays and Thursdays. This is where I am right now on this. So I'm doing stuff like this on Tuesdays and Thursdays. This is the current one that I'm doing right now. So tomorrow and Thursday I'll be doing that. I'm gonna start dual streaming to that channel and this one. And then once everybody knows that art channel is just the art channel, I'll be pivoting that away from this channel because this channel doesn't have anything to do with art. That's my YouTube channel. If you don't follow me on YouTube and you're on Rumble or on Twitch, this here is my Rumble channel for you guys that are on YouTube. Let's see. This is Twitch. Still trying to figure out how to save my videos. They're not, or my streams. I guess you have to be a partner in order to save streams, but that's my Twitch. If you want to watch from there. TikTok is only going to be art, no politics. So that one YouTube channel, the art channel, and this is going to be where I stream my drawing. So after my father, I'm probably going to finish this one of my wife. I'll probably finish this one. Can't see too good. But that one's pencil on canvas. So that'll be graphite. I'll be digging in really good with the darks on that one. I can't wait to finish that one. I should have been finished that one anyway. And then if you want to bless the channel, there's a little QR code up there. That is my Cash App, as well as this link here. Other than that, that is all I have. Alex Jones, he had a long run. I mean, been like 25, 30 years. He's been around as long as I've been paying attention. Oops, sorry. As I've been paying attention to politics. So he's been around a long time. So G Will, appreciate you as always, man. Sausage over on Twitch. I appreciate you. Great contribution. That video was hilarious. I'm glad I was able to play it. Miss Solstice, thank you for stopping by again. Appreciate you. Henry, as always, thanks, man. Appreciate you. Who else was in here? Uncle L, as always. Uncle L's day one. He's been here since my first live. True Essence, thank you very much as well. Phoenix Rising, thank you. We'll just say libtards. I'm not going to say the rest of your name. Libtards, thank you very much. Wabitube Network, I appreciate your support also. He's helped me a lot with information. Carlos Franklin, thank you. Free J, long time no see. Appreciate you. Jonathan, welcome. And Don Moya, thank you guys all for stopping by today. I appreciate you all. That is all I have for today. Let me shut this off and let me find the music, the right music. That's it. All right. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow drawing.